streaming. V ist our. Here V ist our streaming. Now see, now we gotta hit this button over here, like this. Copy this. We go over here for the Patreons. We'll do the paste. We go over here. We'll do the paste. And then we go to publish now. We hit the publish now button. And we're live.
What did you make the title?
What?
What did you call this thing?
Cybersecurity pipeline hacks. That's what we're talking about, bro. You didn't know that? Now you know. Boom. And now we're screen sharing. See, now it'll pop up. People will show up. You know, this is that critical window in the YouTube algorithm where you get new people. So new people, if you just clicked on this, hey man, welcome to the porch. We're not a news agency. We're not an intelligence agency. This is my wife. She's also the weather lady at the not news agency that we have.
Yeah.
My name's Bear. You're Homie. And there's like 12 people on. There's no chat.
Okie is our storm chaser.
Okie is our storm chaser. How come we have no chat? Should we pop the chat out? There we go.
I don't know.
There we go. I'm driving the streaming software. Crazy. Hey, Andrew's here. Aaron's here. See, there we go. Perfect. So now we go over here. All right, so what we're going to talk about, y'all, is some pipelines and cyber attacks. I've gotten a lot of contact from y'all regarding the cyber attacks. What are your opinions on these cyber attacks, honey?
Way to jump right into it. I mean, I think it sucks. I think it's temporary, and it's semi-localized.
Just
So,
half the country.
Just not. I mean, it's
A third.
the eastern.
Yeah. Those
portion.
people.
Yeah, those people.
So I would start with, I oftentimes bring up population density.
Right.
And the people that seem to be having the most issues with this current rash of cyber attacks are those along the East Coast, where there are lots of people. From theblaze.com, multiple governors declare state of emergency over gas shortages amid Colonial pipeline outage. Folks are panicking. You want to read this part right here? You should read it like a movie announcer. Go on.
Folks are panic buying after pipeline was shut down following a cyber attack over the weekend.
Now your knife hand. Whoosh, like that. Okay, perfect.
She's stabby.
You're lucky I'm not wearing my knife.
So, so there's a guy here. Clearly, this is a real rowdy crowd. He's got a safety vest on. He's
Right.
keeping everybody safe. Keeping everybody safe. That's good.
Line them up.
Line them. Yep.
Yep.
That's right. Listen, sheeple. Everybody get into the line. We'll let you have as much fuel as we can, by which we mean maybe 5 gallons. Back to the article. The governors of several eastern states have declared states of emergencies over gas shortages as the Colonial pipeline, which supplies 45% of all fuel to the East Coast, remains shut down after being hit with a cyber attack over the weekend. But officials say the shortages are due to panic buying, not an actual lack of gas.
I agree.
Have we seen this before?
Yes.
When did we see this before,
I
Sweet
mean,
Pea?
we've seen this a lot. Like, we saw this a couple of times in Texas.
Right?
We saw this a couple of times around here.
Right.
Like, it happens. And it's generally caused by rumor and just, like, the panic. And so, but...
Panic at the Disco?
Yeah. So, if you are prepared and you have a full tank of gas that will last you, a week or a few days, chances are you're going to be fine and you're going to be able to get gas.
True.
You just can't, it's the rush on the pumps that causes these outages. And especially when you're in a population dense area. Like, you have even more people doing that panic buy.
Vying over limited resources.
Limited resources.
Robbie One Kenobi.
My mom found
Hi,
gas
Rob.
in the ghetto.
Your mom found gas in the ghetto. Your mom is pretty gangster, so I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. She just rolled up in there. She's like, I need 5
There weren't
gallons.
a ton of lines in the ghetto, so she went to the ghetto to get gas.
Yep. Is 200 gallons enough? Yes. I mean, you define how much enough is enough. Oh my God, we're all gonna die because we have to walk, Chris Haynes said. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people would die if they had to walk. How many people are just gonna keel over and die if they had to walk for a day? I'd say probably 10% of the American population in one day of walking, side of the road.
Right.
Dead. Like, dead. And
there's no gas shortage here.
So, and I've been recovering from surgery, which Hillbilly Homesteader asked, what surgery did you have? It was a sex change because I'm going to run against Tulsi Gabbard for governor of California and show those P-words what a real Republican looks like, unlike Caitlyn Jenner, because #beautiful. But I've spent a lot of time in bed today looking at the Instagram page, Nature is Metal. So now I'm just thinking of a parade of Americans walking down the side of a road with like lions and hyenas leaping out of the bush, wrapping their paws around their throats. And that's why we do the things, right? Hillbilly Homesteader, you knew it. That's exactly right. So.
Right. But, I mean, that's not to say that, like, what happened, if that, I mean, it's definitely eye-opening that if that happens in a centralized location, there's definitely the capability it could happen on a national. For
sure. Well, and the way that this happened was from a cyber attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so it's not like it wasn't the nuts and bolts that failed. It wasn't explosives. It wasn't a cutting torch. It wasn't somebody didn't drive a tank or fly a plane. It was ones and zeros, bro. Right. It was the flow of electron. The unsuccessful flow of electrons is what caused this to happen. And Russia has been saying for years now, we are already in the Third World War. America just doesn't know it yet. There's a lot of implication that this was Russian-backed hackers re the SolarWinds attack. And it's asymmetric. It's total warfare. That's what this is. It's total warfare. And so there's a lot of people who are, and I don't blame you. I think they're awesome, who are buying plate carriers and ARs for the coming World War. And like the coming World War is going to be fought with like, air-gapped computers. Yeah, and Wi-Fi. Not necessarily. It's not conventional. It's not tanks and bombs and planes and guns. It might be. It could devolve to that point. But it's ransomware. It's, these cyber attacks. So, on Tuesday, Governor Roy Cooper, Democrat of North Carolina, Brian Kemp, Republican of Georgia, Governor Ralph Northam, D of Virginia, he is a D, of Virginia, all declared states of emergency as long lines at pumps and rising gas prices hit their states amid shortages and runs on fuel stations. Kemp said in a statement, do you want to read this? Do you want to, imagine you're a governor. Where's Kemp from? Kemp is from Georgia, so a southern governor. Go on with you. You can do it.
She can do
You want me to do it? Or
No.
You're really good. Imagine you're talking to grandma. Just here, you got this.
Today, I signed an executive order suspending the gas tax in Georgia to help with higher prices as a result of the Colonial cyber attack.
This is the best.
I don't think people have heard her.
We are working closely with Colonial and expect for them to recover by the end of the week, Kemp said, adding, unfortunately, extensive media coverage has caused people to panic, which has resulted in higher gas prices.
Also, check out the new chicken biscuits at Bojangles.
That's Louisiana.
But even that was
From Georgia.
incredibly fast for Southern talk.
That is correct. That was way up tempo. But you did a really good job there.
Thank you.
Newsweek reported that according to energy data collection website GasBuddy, said that 5 states, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, collectively saw gasoline demand skyrocket more than 40% on Monday alone. So we have some people that work with us and do life with us that are currently experiencing the downstream ramifications of this. Correcty. That's a good word right there. What's up, Michigan Shepherd? Homie sounds like my aunt.
Sounds like Southern gravy.
Y'all come back now, you hear? Right? What's up, Loop? So, Twitch and his wife were visiting some family on the East Coast, and they flew out and were unable to fly back because the airplanes have no fuel-o. El planos no es fly-o without fuel-o, which is my 7th grade Espanol shining through right here. Multilingual here in the bear camp. So, literally, their freaking plane could not fly because there's no fuel. And the fuel company told them that they would not refund the cost of their ticket because it was outside of their control. So, there's another thing to think about. Es no bueno. That's correct. Letter M. LOL. El plano no worko. That's a lymph. So you can tell you're from Texas right there. Joshua Morris. Watch you and Yankee at the same time. Bless you, bro. 421 for gas here today. Looks like I'm hoofing it. Tread on this. What's up, lovely Dudley?
Yeah, my mom saw like a 30% increase today.
Yeah. Hamster wheel power at jogging.
Still going up.
That's true. Twitch actually probably could have jogged from the East Coast back here in a hamster wheel. He's pretty good at that. That whole running thing, it's never been my shtick. I'm not so good at it. Now, I could pick up and carry 2 runners at a moderate pace, but running, no, not my jam. Experts say from Fox5Atlanta.com say a long resolution to pipeline cyber attack could hit consumers' wallets. Which, by the way, is over here under the heading Buh-bye moolah, and you have all these links in the description, both here on the YouTubes as well as on Patreon. Shout out to our patrons. We love y'all. Y'all are the best. Thank you for your ongoing support of this ridiculous show. Wouldn't do this without you. I wouldn't do it. YouTube's too much of a pain in the ass. Dateline Atlanta, days after an Alpharetta-based energy company reported a ransomware attack and halted its operation amid an investigation, it's still unclear how consumers will be affected and if a fuel shortage on the East Coast is imminent. Colonial Pipeline moves gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and home heating oil from refineries primarily located on the Gulf Coast through pipelines running from Texas to New Jersey. It is a major supplier of fuel and delivers an estimated 45% of all fuel consumed on the East Coast. The Georgia-based blah 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 does blah 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 100 million gallons of fuel daily, spanning more than blah 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 5,500 miles. Experts say blah blah blah. The worry is without those tanks being replenished at around day 4 or 5 that the pool, so to speak, of gasoline will be chiseled at pretty quickly. Blah 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 blah. Patrick DeHaan, industry analyst at Gas Buddies, said the Colonial Pipeline said the attack took place Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Today is Tuesday. That's about day 4 or 5. Colonial Pipeline said the attack took place Friday and also affected some of its information technology systems. I would imagine, by the way, we could just say IT systems because even a dumb Luddite like me that lives in the middle of Oklahoma knows what information technologies are. And here's a cute little map of the pipeline for those who haven't seen it. Most of us are into preparedness and know all about these things already. Like, we have a passing awareness at a minimum of what's going on here. But the long and short is you should probably already have some fuel stocked up. And if you don't, you should have. But if you don't and you can get some, you should get some because, I mean, we're looking at Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. I noticed they don't have Delaware in here. Apparently Delaware is doing fine. New Jersey, not so much. Kentucky. All these states right here, which is a bunch of them. What's that, like 12, 15 states? Y'all are apparently SOL for fuel for a good long while if this thing doesn't get back up and running again. And the way ransomware works is essentially they take your and I'm not an expert in this, and I'm probably going to make the people who are experts in this start cringing, but they take control of your systems And if you choose to pay the ransom, then they give the systems back to you, ? And usually, while they were in there, they've created multiple backdoors into your system again. So typically, a system that has been hacked has a greater likelihood of being hacked again. So, oil analyst Andy Lippow said the impact of the attack on fuel supplies and price demands on how long the pipeline is down. I just said that. Good job, Andy Lippow. An outage of 1 or 2 days would be minimal, he said, but an outage of 5 or 6 days could cause shortages and price hikes, particularly in an area stretching from central Alabama to the Washington, D.C. area. Good talk, Fox 5 Atlanta. Y'all are the best. Let's go back over here to the live stream, folks. See what's going on over here. Gray Mouse, yeah, air quote, attack, right? Under 3 per gallon here, but none to be had. Not a car on the road. Roger that, Joseph.
Ooh,
What are you doing?
button.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
What are you doing?
Oh,
Arkansas
okay.
Living, what's up, bro? Gray Mouse is here, what's up? Shawnette, Zachariah, Andre, Zach, Jason Graul. That's a good name, Graul. I'm a fuel delivery driver in PA. We're not seeing shortages yet, but a lot of panic buying. Copy. Coal miner's daughter, what's going on? Do gas stations reserve a certain percent for ER responders, utility workers, etc.? No, generally speaking, no, because gas stations are capitalistic, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Gas stations are, as much as they can be, laissez-faire economics, supply and demand. A lot of larger departments will have reservoirs of fuel on hand, though. They'll have fuel tanks at the fire department, at the PD, at the EMS, so forth and so on. Not all, and especially your more rural areas, are probably not going to have that. So, any screwball shortages in eastern Oklahoma? Negative Glock 316. Great question, though. I like where your head's at. John Fairfax, you're welcome. Thanks for the comments. Biden will handle it, says nobody ever. Well, actually, let's talk about that a little bit. Where did it go? Yeah, well, this is more from Fox Business. Cyber attack on U.S. pipeline could affect gas prices, experts warn, as the FBI, DHS, and Department of Energy investigate. I imagine that. So from the World Economic Forum, our buddy Klaus Schwab, who, as I've said before, has the perfect name to be a tyrannical governmental oppressor. I mean, Klaus Schwab, just like, I just get images of like Otto von Bismarck with the spiky helmet and like, the Nuremberg trials. It's the perfect name. Klaus Schwab, our buddy at the World Economic Forum. Cybersecurity is too big a job for governments or businesses to handle alone, which means they must handle them together, which is literally fascistic. And depending on how they handle them together, it could also be socialist or communist. But, nobody would ever say that out loud because, hashtag Alphabet, the company that owns Google, the company that owns the YouTubes. There's some bullet points here. Business and government are exposing each other to an increasing range of cyber risks. Current efforts to pool cybersecurity resources are limited in scope. To pool cybersecurity resources. Now, make no mistake, there's a lot of government contractors involved in the cyber side of what the U.S. DoD does. But they handle governmental systems. They don't handle private systems. Current efforts to pool cybersecurity resources are limited in scope, and sharing threat intelligence is the first step to provide a clear cyber threat picture. I'm sure it is. Much like we had that whole... We got rid of all the stovepipe chains of command and instituted basically an intelligence czar and the Department of Homeland Security post 9/11, because it's really worked out great for us as a country and us as individuals since then. The recent hack of network management company SolarWinds, which enabled bad actors to compromise a range of U.S. government agencies and major corporations, has revealed a troubling truth. Business and government expose each other to significant cyber risks because they are interconnected and rely on the same network of software vendors. That's why the strategic response must involve more intensive collaboration. Good. Did you pump a fist in solidarity?
I did.
Solidarity. Simply put, the threat of cyber attacks is too big a job for either government or business to tackle alone. Cybersecurity complaints to the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation more than tripled during the pandemic last year, while the average payment of victims of ransomware jumped 43% in the first quarter of 21 from the preceding quarter. Attacks on the software supply chain are growing exponentially, and the burgeoning Internet of Things, or IoT, and 5G wireless technology, which also, by the way, circa March 2020 was the reason for COVID, if nobody remembers. Everybody who's getting sick is getting sick on cruise ships, and cruise ships have 5G. It was first rolled on that, and the 5G spins the oxygen molecules inside of the nuclei in your cell, and that's what causes people to get sick and die out from the inside, Bear. Don't you know? It's all because of the 5G. Haven't heard a damn word about that in about a year or so, just saying. And the burgeoning Internet of Things and 5G wireless technology offer more vulnerabilities to exploit. Governments have a broad view of potential threats. What was that chica's name? Ms. Dana Ashley. She's like some wannabe prepper conspiracy theorist lady. Had a whole hour-long presentation on why people in cruise ships were getting COVID at alarming rates, tied directly, in her words, to 5G wireless. And how interesting that where the greatest outbreaks of COVID-19 were all in these cities that had early rollout of 5G wireless technology. Or population density. It could also be that. Causation and correlation don't go hand in hand. It could be that where you have a lot of people do tend to legitimately, and notice I said legitimately, get more sick more often. And also where you have a high density population would be a great place to have a high density information network like 5G wireless. Could be that those two things, just because they overlap, are not cause and effect. But this is not the rabbit hole that I intended to jump into. Governments have a broad view. Yes.
Can't see your tab or your headers because you did them in white.
Oh, I'll fix that in a moment. Thanks,
Okay.
Boo.
You're welcome.
Governments have a broad view of potential threats through law enforcement and intelligence capabilities, but they tend to see things through a national security lens rather than a commercial risk. Companies have firm and sector-specific risk information and often enjoy better access to cybersecurity talent, but they can't easily take an economy-wide view and may find themselves overwhelmed by state-sponsored attackers. And now, because my El Wifo said the nice wordos to me, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do this just for a moment. This right here. I'm just going to change this up just for a moment. And we'll do a little Q&A. Or we'll just we'll talk to the people in the comments for a moment.
There's a code?
Yeah.
Is it up there? I couldn't see it.
Of course
I know,
it's up
because
there.
his tabs were, he did it in white, and the tabs were there.
How about that? How's that? Is
That's
that better?
beautiful.
Yeah.
You're
So you're
beautiful,
welcome.
babe.
We did it. We did it.
You look so handsome.
Oh, thank you. May is Stop the Bleed month, and so if you're bleeding right now, stop it. Knock it off. You're gonna die. Nobody wants that. Don't do it. Good, we handled that, right?
Yes.
All right, that's it. Don't bleed and die this month. That's all we need to. That's all we need to do. Backyard prepping, bless you. Cooper Orman is not bleeding. That's good to know. Oh man, they'll turn up 5G slowly, says Freedom Fighter. Will they? Okay. Freedom Fighters should take 0 cruises to Lisbon, Spain, because based on the historical data, that 5G will get you, bro. TQ, ouch, MFer face. Joshua Morse, that is correct. I can't stop the bleed because my boo-boo kit hasn't got here yet, Garen. It will, bro. It's shipping, I promise you. I promise you. Somebody fix Garen's order. I'm giving blood right now. As long as it's going into a receptacle and not on the floor, Sean Rose, you're good to go. Sean Rose. I like that. Sean Rose.
Tell D. Brand he should have gotten an email if he purchased a class.
Yeah, so if you purchased a class, you should have gotten a confirmation email. If you didn't, just email us, admin@preparedness.com, and we will square you away. So bleeding control. Let's talk about bleeding control just for a hot minute, because May is March is when my anniversary
You gotta
is.
tell them what you did.
I will in a moment. May is Stop the Bleed month. So this is the bare FAC. This is the bare minimum. You can get them at bareindependent.com, refugemedical.com, and find retailers on the internet and in the world everywhere. These are purpose-built for working the March algorithm, March, M-A-R-C-H-E. And the way that works is...
Isn't that Marchy?
Yeah, it's Marchy. March is the... M is massive bleeding. A is airway. R is respiratory. C is circulation. H is head injuries and hypothermia. And E is everything else, bro. It's all those other things that you should have done, but you didn't. Oh, Billy Bird Outdoors, thank you. So kind. Got our bear fac. It's great quality. Hopefully we never use it, but even so, son who joined National Guard to be a medic was excited about it. Jen and Steve, that is awesome.
Yeah, Cooper, because I would love to have dirty pant legs next to my veins and bleeding and wounds.
Cooper's packing wounds with a pant leg?
Yeah.
That's cool.
With dirty pants.
I wish you the best of luck.
Dirty paint rags.
Dirty paint rags. Okay, so instead what you're going to want to do with the March algorithm, since May is Stop the Bleed month, you get your bear fac, right? You pop this open right here, and you just grab the red handle, and you pull this. This is on your plate carrier, your chest rig, your thong undies if you're working at the cockpit tonight or wherever. Okay? You need bleeding control everywhere. May is Stop the Bleed month. So up here, you got your quick clot rolled gauze. Okay? That's an additional. You add that at checkout. By the way.
Hang on. Pause.
What?
There should be some adventure kits available in the store.
With the bag.
With the bag.
With the bag. Oh, yeah.
Limited supply of black.
Adventure kits have been out of stock, but we got some bags in, so for those who wanted adventure kits, they're in, good to go. You pop this tab. Boom. So rather than trying to heal your grievous bleeding with dirty paint rags, you're going to use your Gen 7 cat tourniquet up here. 19,000 plus applications in combat in the last 20 years of the global war on terror. Zero failure rate. So Gen 7 cat tourniquet right here. And that's for the extremities. If it's in a junctional area like your neck, your pelvic girdle, your hips, your shoulders, you're going to use your pressure bandage and your gauze here for wound packing. Oh, by the way, see this? Made in America, guaranteed forever. Hand stitched, hand sewn, so forth and so on. You got your tape up here, medical tape. You got a pair of nitrile gloves because if it's wet and not yours, don't touch it. You have got a Sharpie so that you can draw phalluses on your buddy's face while he's passed out on the ground bleeding to death. You have a decompression needle here for tension pneumothorax. Pretty much a closed tension pneumothorax, and if you don't know what that is, then you need to come to training. You got your shears back here. You've got your nasopharyngeal airway back here. You've got 2 5x9 gauze pads back here. You've got 2, not 1, but 2 high-fin chest seals. So,
Don't worry about it.
I'm
fixing
trying
it.
not to, but I can see what's going on over here. And then,
Adventure kits in stock.
down here, you got the everything else. So in the everything else category, let's see, what is in here? We have rolled gauze, triangle bandage, small gauze, 2x2s, 4x4s, 5x9, more commercial quick clot, more nitrile gloves, compressed gauze for wound packing and for wrapping an injury, like a laceration or something, BZK wipes, a foil blanket right here that's the hypothermia part, keeping the casualty warm, and flat duct tape because it sticks to everything, including blood, sweat, and tears. And that's the Bear Fact. It's $229, made in America, guaranteed forever. But for the rest of the month, because it's Stop the Bleed month, you can use promo code Stop the Bleed for 20% off. That's correct, 20% off. So, if you want to, do that. If you don't, no worries.
Not yet.
What are you doing?
We're making adventure kits in stock.
We're making adventure kits in stock?
We're making them right now.
We're making them right now. Okay. Is that what's going on over there?
Yep.
I thought you were plotting to overthrow the government or something. You're all like super hush-hush over there. It's very distracting. When I see plotting, I know what it looks like.
There's
Okay.
definitely plotting.
I know. I was like, do I need to punch somebody in the comments? What's going on? So, oh, and also, you can and should use promo code STOPTHEBLEED for 10% off training at refugetraining.com.
There should be 6.
And refugetraining.com, you'll find your training dates for 4-hour and 8-hour classes on how to use this nonsense. So, National Stop the Bleed Month. Don't die. Get yourself a Bear Fact, a Bare Minimum, an Adventure Kit, whatever else. What other kits do we sell?
There's 6 black adventure kits in stock in the BI store right now.
Right now.
That's it. That's all I got.
Go.
And you get 20% off. So.
What? We're getting 20% off even on those? Okay.
It's off of everything.
Everything?
10% off
Even the
training.
Boo-boo kits?
Even the boo-boos.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's quit selling ShamWows. We'll sell some more ShamWows in a minute. It's fun. Oh, 24/6. That's right, Gray Mouse. What else we're going to talk about? So, let's see. If we come over here, should we do more screens? They can't even see you. What's going on?
You cut me off.
There we go. You've been cut off, lady. Who's that driving rowdily on my road? The FedEx guy?
Probably.
You need to go let him know that's how people catch hollow points around here.
Oh, you hush.
No? I will not hush.
FSAs and HSAs can be used for them.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, you can use your HSA, FSA, all your HAs and FAs and AFs and all those things.
How 20% off? Read the banner.
How 20% off?
Use promo code Stop the
How?
Bleed.
20% off. And I can do that because I'm
20%
Cherokee,
off.
right?
Yes.
Come out for the training. Ozarks Altruistic. What's up, brother? Yeah. And so the Tallahassee class specifically, I will be there. My wife will be there. And the world famous prepper author, Angery American, will be there. And his wife will be there.
Super excited.
So if you've ever wanted to like totally nerd out on prepper stuff while learning how to not die, that would be the class to go to if you're anywhere near Tallahassee, Florida. And of course...
yes, you can use PayPal, Randy.
Of course you can use PayPal. Stop the Bleed.
Yep, no space.
All one word. Stop. It's promo code Stop the Bleed.
I have
Stop the
copied and
bleed.
pasted it multiple times in the comments, so if they just stop asking and read.
It's literally right above my head right now. Okay?
Oh, that too.
See this right here? That's literally... Look at the... David, look at the screen. See it? I feel like Vanna White right now.
Somebody just said, "Hey Bear, are you ever in Indy?" What?
We were just
knew?
He was
Bro.
just in Indy.
Oh, I was... Yeah. We were just in Indy.
I wasn't. You were.
Oh, tech on my right. There we go. Cannot wait for the payola training. That's correct. That's just southwest of Kansas City.
And come on with you, Tracy Welch.
Jacksonville's not that far.
Yeah. Tallahassee's like in the middle of upper Florida. It's like the midway point. It gives you hope when you're going to like either direction. It's one of those cities that you're like, damn, I'm almost there.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Like-
eat, if you're gonna pee, if
Yeah,
you're gonna do anything,
driving
you gotta stop.
across Florida that way just sucks.
Do you ever come to Louisiana? We come through Louisiana. We'll be going through Louisiana to get to Tallahassee. And no, we went the northern route when we went into Atlanta. So
Yeah.
one more time
gonna tell
for
them
the
what you
people
did?
in the back, Bear. Why don't you
She
tell them
literally
what I
wants to-
did?
It's funnier when you do.
No, yeah, it's way funnier when you
Bless
tell
you,
people.
kosher dad. So, Tally is a crap hole. All the more reasons you should know how to not die, White Fox. So,
So,
as it turns out, pain meds can make me a little bit loopy.
uh-huh.
And
You don't say.
Yeah, and I messed up Mother's Day pretty bad because, you know, I was effed up on pain meds and hadn't been sleeping and
had surgery.
And
yeah.
I appreciate you sticking up for me in this story because, yeah. So I felt really bad about it. So I'm laying in bed, feverish, cold sweats, like body pains, the whole nine. And I'm like, I cannot mess up our anniversary. You can't do it. It's coming up on the 20th. And so I made reservations. I ordered flowers. Got babysitters. I ordered a bunch of presents. And then promptly realized my anniversary was this morning on a live stream with Patreon. Realized my anniversary was 7 weeks ago. March 20th. Not May 20th.
Which we really didn't have a great anniversary anyway. So yeah, it'll be nice to have a redo.
2.0.
So the doc is changing my prescription because I prefer to be a little bit more functional than that. Yeah.
Every man should be allowed to redo his anniversary.
You think so?
If he messes it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I did mine pretty well. But
I think you did too.
You do?
Yeah.
You got a ring pop?
A ring coming.
Pick out a ring.
Oh.
On our anniversary.
That's a little bit more exciting than a ring pop, I would think. But so. Launch in 10 minutes, get ready, East Coast. No, I don't think so.
So you're going to wait till I move, until after I move out of state, or are you going to have a Washington class? Believe Washington is in, like, are we working on?
Yes, we're actively working on it.
Okay.
Or move closer.
Love to see an updated video in your gardens. That's coming. But it's literally, we should have invested heavily in aquaponics by this point because all it has done is rain since we moved here. Ever. This
is a pretty wet region of.
It's a rainforest.
What's up, Okies Balls?
Yeah.
Seattle-like conditions.
Rage in the cage. What's up, Rage? White Fox. Mount Plainsman. Wow, Miss Bear Independent is a lucky woman. What an anniversary. Right? Give me some skin. Excuse me. Anyway. So we do some more of the news. Maybe we can find some more Southern people for you to talk like.
To read after.
All right, let's go back to this right here. I thought there was a Sasquatch over there
hacking.
making tree music,
Yeah.
but it's just Stalwart Peacekeeper.
It looks like a Sasquatch.
Nice.
Excuse me.
It's just that guy.
That guy
It's just that guy.
The guy who waters down everything. Apparently.
Oh my gosh. So there's been a rash of people bitching about the people on my porch that aren't me or my wife, and all I can say is they didn't sneak up on us.
Right.
They're here for a reason. If we don't want them here, we tell them to go home. So if you don't love it, maybe this is no place-o for you. Oh, just saying.
Like, I'm watching Bear Independent for Bear.
I want it all the 100% Bear News Network, 100% Bear, all news, all the time, 24/6, 3. Well, there's 77.
You're the face.
295. Yeah.
You look like,
if you're not on camera,
you're the face
being.
But like the Bear Independent, you have a team.
I know.
Of people that get all of your shit done.
I know, and people don't like that.
Yeah.
They want me to be truly independent.
And so y'all get to see all those people that are involved in getting that shit done.
And they complain they don't have their bear vacuum time. You're like, well, we have to be here for that to happen.
I mean, y'all can leave if you want. I'm just saying. Don't leave.
Can you imagine you doing this, then you got to go take the orders, then you got to go pack it, and then you got to ship it to them?
We would be able to fulfill 4 bear facts a week. This is how we started. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were good for 12 a week.
We had
maybe
like a
20.
packing day.
Yeah, maybe 20. Yeah, I would go into the barn, and I would get on my little table in the barn, I would set the camera up and I would pack kits and talk to the patrons. That's what I would do. And praise Yah, 13 months later, we have 2 offices and we have, you know, more than a dozen families that work with us, and we have distributorship nationally with certain people, and we are on 4 continents with 4 branches of the armed forces, and we've saved 17 lives with our kits and our training. So
somebody blocked Arkansas Living saying they like it better when the girls take over the porch on Tuesday.
yeah. So what I was gonna say before I was distracted by Arkansas Living's goofy ass was people like to say, some people like to say, you know, Bear, you've really changed. I liked your old videos. Roger that, man. Shame on me if I haven't changed. And perhaps shame on you if you haven't changed. You want me to be the same person I was 3 years ago. My core values haven't changed. My beliefs haven't changed. You know, when y'all met me here on the internet, I was at a different stage in my life than I am now.
Right. You're supposed to grow.
My point exactly.
If you're the same person you were 10 years ago, something's wrong.
Yeah, shame on you.
You're not listening.
So, and everybody also has different definitions of what better is. So, I don't simply define success by, hey, praise the Father, our businesses are growing. Although, praise the Father, our businesses are growing. It's also my spirituality and my faith has grown exponentially. My relationship with my wife has gotten tighter and stronger. I've tried to become a better father. I've literally sat down and thought about all the times I really, really, really messed up as a friend, and have thought about how do I not do that again. I've worked on my anger because, gosh dang, you think you don't like me now? You should see me when I'm pissed. I can and will throw a refrigerator at you. And I might apologize for it 3 weeks later. Maybe. Or I might be like, you deserved it. So, seeing as how anger and rage is one of my superpowers, I try not to go there because of the wrath of a righteous... I'm sorry. The wrath of man works not the righteousness of Elohim. This is James chapter 1. So, yeah, I've changed. Cool. And that's fine. If I was your cup of tea a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but I'm not now, nobody's keeping you here. And if I wasn't then, but I am now, welcome. Happy to have you. So, but I'm not trying to be all things to all people. I'm simply trying to be me. And if the me that I am jives with you, sweet. And if it doesn't jive with you, man, you know where the damn door is. Don't let it hit you in the ass on your way out. So,
Luke said she saw me mad once, and she doesn't ever want to see me mad.
You are psycho.
Luke was like, I don't ever want to hear her say my name like that.
Cyber attack is the big one coming soon from govtech.com. In the past 90 days, the world has witnessed a serious escalation in cyber attacks. Some experts are still predicting that the worst is yet to come. Are we prepared? No, we're not. Let me scroll down here. The next conflict is when the gloves come off. Cyber CEO, next war will hit America, regular Americans online. The next conflict is where the gloves come off in cyber. The American citizen will be dragged into it whether they want to be or not, period. Again, from govtech.com. Apps won't work. Appliances may not work. People don't even know all the things they depend on. All of a sudden, the supply chain starts getting disrupted because computers don't work. The problem is nobody knows what the rules are. There's no written document on what the rules are, he said. And I don't know if you will get people to agree on rules.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
Plan for tomorrow. I know. I'll go talk to Bill.
And I don't know if you will get people to agree to rules on espionage because of the asymmetry where most countries can't beat us with tanks, can't beat us with airplanes, but in cyber, maybe that's where they can make investments and beat us. Cyber sleuths have already blamed China for a hack that exposed tens of thousands of servers running Microsoft, blah, 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 blah. Florida water system hit. Is a wide cyber failure possible? The situation is not forecasted to improve unless deliberate and sustained action is taken swiftly and broadly. Cybercrime costs are expected to reach a staggering $10.5 trillion per year by 2025, just around the corner. Leaders warn of U.S. cyber vulnerability. For almost 3 decades, we have awaited a mythical cyber Pearl Harbor, the harbinger of doom, digital doom that the U.S. cybersecurity community assumes to be inevitable. Strangely enough, some believe this cyber Pearl Harbor has already happened twice within the last 2 months. So, yeah, just, I like these bullet points up here. Go ahead, babe.
Oh, I was going to say, it can definitely be a test of, like, what they're capable of. Like I said, you know, they can do it in a local area. They're capable of doing it nationwide, which is, it's a scary thought.
Hey, and who dropped us $20? I didn't see that. Who dropped us 20 buckaroos?
I see a 5, not a 20.
Michael Hammond, bless you, brother. How's Caleb House going? Have a drink on you. I will. I will explain Caleb House here in just a little bit.
That's fine. The Stop the Bleed code is going to be live all month.
All month.
The entire month of May.
Thanks in advance for the kitten patch I just ordered. Sean Smith, bless you, man. So, Caleb House. Land identified, land offer made, waiting on all the closey things that happen with that. There's some adjacent land to the land that we're very much so trying to get our hands on that we'd like to lock up that land as well. And then we can do the Caterpillar diesel engine, steel chainsaw, things and clear that land. So.
Things.
Noises tonight are great.
The bullet points from this govtech.com, yeah. Apps won't work. Appliances may not work. People don't even know all the things they depend on. All of a sudden, the supply chain starts getting disrupted because computers don't work. The problem is nobody knows what the rules are. There's no written document on what the rules are. And I don't know if you will get people to agree to rules on espionage because of the asymmetry where most countries can't beat us with tanks, can't beat us with airplanes, but in cyber, maybe that's where they can make investments and beat us. And what did Vladimir Putin say? We are already in World War III. The U.S. just doesn't know it yet. And interestingly enough, because this is something we've been talking a lot about lately, wealth preservation and investing balanced by the weakening of the U.S. dollar. Mm-hmm. And so, been thinking, I've never been a fan of crypto. I think it makes sense for a lot of people, but for me, I just get a check in my spirit every time I try to get serious about crypto. And so for me, I'm not saying for you, I'm saying for me, I'm going to honor that check in my spirit. So crypto's a no-go. And then the other place, there's 2 other places, as I understand it, based upon the limited research that I've done. One is the markets, like stock markets, you know, NASDAQ, Dow, S&P 500, etc. The Nikkei. The other is tangible goods, tangible assets, land, lumber, commodities, things of that nature. I'll tell you what, a stand of timber right now would be a great investment. Because, what we got? Treasure.
Val, with all due respect, I like the informative videos. Like to watch wherein I walk, but I would not want to see Mr. and Mrs. Bear Independent mad. Kind of scared of this channel at first.
Don't come to the porch unless you've been invited to the porch.
That is correct. And then assume that if people are on the porch, they're good to go. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. The rule of the porch is a pretty good one.
Yes.
Things change,
You can
folks. Things change. So, the hell was we talking about? Investing.
Yes.
And so,
Sorry.
but to the crypto angle, one of the things that has made blockchain so appealing, again, I'm no expert in this, but I do a bit of research from time to time. One of the things that has made it so appealing is it's allegedly unable to be hacked. You can't hack it because there's multiple ledgers on multiple computers that are all being updated anytime a transaction is made. And so it's not hacking one node. You'd have to hack all the nodes, and there's multiple copies of systems on multiple blah, blah, blah. It can't be done. Well, interestingly, this is from an article from Slate. The one redeeming quality of NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, might not even exist. And so essentially what an NFT or non-fungible token is, based upon my understanding, is it's like a digital receipt. It's a token. Non-fungible means you can't spend it. It's just simply like a receipt for something that exists. Like in this case, it was a bit of artwork. Digital artwork. Well, the thing with digital artwork is there's hundreds, if not thousands or millions of copies of it. And because they're digital, they're all... If you copy something 1,000 times, there's degradation that happens to the file. But more or less, they're all exactly the same. And you can't really tell the original from the copy. So what the NFT does, non-fungible token does, is it ties that blockchain receipt to the original copy, saying that you own the original copy of, in this case, a piece of digital artwork. And that's how this stupid effing Beeple picture sold for $69.3 million as a piece of digital artwork, because it was backed by this NFT, non-fungible token, the receipt that says this is the original one. You can Google Beeple, Bravo, Echo, Echo, Papa, Lima, Echo, Beeple, and you can see an exact copy of the thing that somebody paid $70 million for. But what makes it worth, at least in the eyes of the art community and the investment community, what makes it worth $70 million is the fact that there is a receipt that says this is the original one. And so if one was to sell that original file, they would have the receipt, the non-fungible token that shows this is the original. And that's great, except for the fact that Beeple just got hacked. And now they can't tell the difference between the original and the copy. And that was done by an air quote white hat hacker, a good guy essentially, to prove that yes, they can be hacked. Now there's two of them, and you can't say which one is the original and which one isn't. Mm-hmm. So that, in my humble opinion, debases all of the value in crypto as a wealth preservation tool. And if it can be hacked, and if it can be generated to make more and more and more of it, the whole value of, for example, something like Bitcoin is that there's only 21 million Bitcoins. And so that introduces scarcity. Scarcity breeds value. That's what brings value to the coin. Well, if it can be hacked and you can make more and more and more of them, it's the same. Now we just have a fiat currency like we have with the US dollar, which is currently experiencing inflation, may experience hyperinflation. And so I bring all of that up because in my life, I've been looking at what are the things that I can do perhaps as a wealth preservation tool with this inflation that we're seeing. And crypto, while I already had a check in my spirit about it, now I'm seeing things like this happen and going, oh, hell no. Especially think about if crypto becomes adopted, any kind of crypto becomes adopted by governments as the de facto currency. You replace the dollar with Bitcoin, which they wouldn't do. It might be Ethereum, it might be Litecoin, it might be the USD coin, whatever. You replace the tangible fiat dollar with a cryptocurrency that would be limited. Just like Bitcoin with 21 million coins, it would be limited, which would give it value. And it's backed by the full faith and confidence of the U.S. government and the FDIC or whatever. But now all of a sudden, every time the Treasury runs short, they just make more crypto.
Right.
Just like they just print more dollars. Mm-hmm. It's just another flawed system. So I'm actually curious about the comments from the people on that. Let me pull them up because I don't know everything there is to know about it, but that's what I'm seeing. That's how it's hitting my soul and my brain. Holy cow, let's go by fast.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Arkansas living, right?
Yeah.
Anyone in Chattanooga, Torah observant congregation or group in South Arkansas area? I don't, but check 119 Ministries Fellowship Finder.
Yeah. There's a bunch now. Like, a bunch of people have registered.
Yep. Tulips in the Dutch East Indies. Andrew Ver, that's a great comment, man. What's up, Forge? Dane is here. OCO Peace. What's up, bro? Hap Bunker from Canada. These trying times actively seek education, stay level-headed and peaceful, act in kind balance with your observations. That is the problem in Kondratiev cycle winter.
We should invest in menthol cigarettes.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Greetings from the Heartland as well, Heartland Survival. It's controlled by coding. It's the new tracing. Everything and all. Just saying. Yeah, I agree with that too. There's also Christ is the answer. That's a good comment. There's also the fact that because it's digitized, it's tied directly to you. It's in your wallet, which is attached to your social security number and your address and your credit score, and probably soon your social credit score. This is happening in China right now with the People's Coin, I think is what it's called. The supporters of the current political Vogue party are receiving 1,000 People's Coins. The dissidents are not. So what happens when the government, and it's too involved for me because it's also a tracking mechanism, right? And it's there's just too much going on there. Sergeant Storms is in the house. He probably has an idea about this. Jay Johns also knows a lot about the crypto things. What's up, Badger? I didn't know you was in here. QRF, what's going on, man? I'll just keep buying beans, right? I'm going to have to buy a warehouse before I buy more beans, right?
It's on the list.
Beat up is another out-of-order chaos situation. Lima Charlie, Shalom. Melissa Martin, I have Timber.
Horton novels.
Franklin Horton novels. What about
Yes.
him? Hey, what's up, Daniel
Somebody
Streety?
asked if you had read any.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hort. I like Hort a lot, and Hort is a really good dude. We've exchanged correspondence. He's got a really good heart. He's a really good dude. I like his novels. I let my oldest daughter read Locker 9. Got some good ideas out of Locker 9. Really good book.
I'm a huge Bobby Akert.
You're a big Bobby Akern?
Big Bobby Akert.
Akert,
same
yeah.
thing.
Well, I used to read...
He's prolific, so you can just always keep reading
Right.
his novels. And you just
Lisa Akers, LL Akers.
Yep.
I've read a bunch of her stuff. I've read, obviously, everything Angery American has done. In the process of reading Decline and Decay by Angery American and Alan Kay right now. And I'll be doing a review on the book. It's a good book. So if you haven't checked out Decline and Decay by them, you should check it out because they're freaking awesome. Shout out to the Blue Wrenches. Great job. Carrie Beard, that's wonderful.
And they're coming to the Stop the Bleed in Tallahassee.
They are. Yep.
Along with us.
Logan Matthias, what's up, brother? Still sick and on the mend. Roger that, Storms. Yeah, and so Andrew Ver, I agree with that. The only way to keep a computer secure is to disconnect it from the network. They come in through the power cable and batteries now, too. Is that accurate, Mr. IT guy?
They don't come in through the batteries, but like phones, they can remotely turn on.
Right.
Computers, it's possible they can do that. I mean, you'd have to unplug, pull the battery, and then they can't get to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way for sure.
kinda through the battery, but not. It's
Yeah, it's a remote connection. Computers are a little... If they don't have a cellular, it really depends on the computer. There are some that'll do that. Most of them won't. But if there's any cellular built in, they can.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Or ILO is what they call it. Integrated lights out. That kind of thing.
Is that what they made?
Integrated
phones?
lights out?
Yeah,
ILO?
yeah,
Okay.
Is that why they made phones so you can't take the batteries out anymore?
probably. A lot of it's, that's why I put GPS is for emergency situations and things like that. And, you know, this way if it goes out, they can turn it back on and try and find you.
What is this?
Fat Bottom Betty or Tobacco Special, pick one.
Fat Bottom Betty.
There you go.
Thank you. Bless you.
I figured you were mad. That's a appeasement.
I'm not mad. My brain has 4 train tracks, and there's 17 trains on the tracks.
I get it.
And there's 4 little dudes frantically pulling levers, trying to make sure that the correct train gets into the station
Yeah, I
at
came
the right
in
time.
and totally went,
Yeah,
hey, look,
you
something's shiny. And they
friggin'
went,
French,
"Oh."
French resistance to my train tracks, and yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good.
He's like,
Crypto is just a means to an end right now. Use crypto and increase your capital to buy supplies. Yeah, and maybe praise the Father. That's where I'm at. Is I don't need to specifically do that. I have other ways that I'm more comfortable with to gather worthless fiat currency to turn into valuable things. So, NWA Prepper is on. Where's my brother NWA Prepper? I'll ask you at NWA Prepper. It's now time to spend money if you've got some on important things.
So yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I think you invest in infrastructure and tangibles right now.
Right.
That's where I'm at with it. You invest in infrastructure and tangibles while the dollar still has some purchasing power. Love you back, Curtis Spencer. And what's up, Aaron? Money will mean nothing, says Oki Khan. So, so you buy things that you can with the money that you have right now. And I'm not saying necessarily the dollar goes to zero, but I think if you look at the collapse of the Soviet Union, it took a good long while for people to crawl out of that hole. And I'm just not, guys, I'm not good at standing in bread lines. Patience is a virtue, but it's not one of mine. I'd rather have my own damn bread line than go stand in somebody else's. So that's where I'm at with that. Let's go back over here. We talked about NFTs. Oh yeah, this was a good article. And then we got this article and one more, and then we'll just go into some Q&A like we usually do on a Tuesday night. Also from Government Technology. And by the way, shout out to the badass dance monkeys who put almost the entirety of this together for us. Been doing some really good work there. If you have intel you'd like to share, please send it to intel@bearindependent.com. And that goes straight to the dance monkeys. And then they curate a lot of this stuff, and they send it to me, and I tend to add my own research and findings to it and then bring it to y'all. But our research team, the Dance Monkeys, bearindependent.com, intel@bearindependent.com. So shout out to them for putting this together. They're doing a great job. Top 21 security predictions for 2021. Now, predictions, not guarantees. Predictions, not guarantees. But top 21 security predictions for 2021 from governmenttechnology.com. Let's get back down here to the bullet points. Get all past all the cyber geek blah blah. Bullet points. There will be huge security impacts in the coming year from the move to work from home, fueled by COVID-19. More attacks will occur on home computers and networks, with bad actors even using home offices as criminal hubs by taking advantage of unpatched systems and architecture weaknesses. Now, I am not a nerd, and I say that in love to all of our resident Bear Nation nerds. But
Let me back.
Dixon just did this. But I know enough to know that makes sense. Of course. Well, if I was given the opportunity of attacking through the best defenses, entrenched in place, climbing up the hill and under machine gun fire, or just going around it through the back door, I'm just gonna maneuver, bro. So
most home systems are not secure.
Exactly.
I will tell you now, and that's like 90%.
Yeah, most home systems are not secure. Next bullet point, the rush to cloud everything will cause many security holes, challenges, misconfigurations, and outages. More growth in the security industry. Our numbers of new products and new year mergers and acquisitions will cause network complexity issues and integration problems and overwhelm cyber teams. Privacy will be a mess with user revolts, new laws, confusion, and self-regulation failing. That's an interesting point right there. Identity and multi-factor authentication, MFA, will take center stage as passwords finally start to go away in a tipping point year. Tons of high-profile Internet of Things hacks, some which will make headline news. Ransomware will get worse and worse, with new twists, data stealing prior to encryption, malware packaging, and other threats and very specific targeting of organizations. Lots of 5G vulnerabilities, including COVID-19, will become headline news as the technology grows. Advanced Persistent Threats, or APTs, will be widely available from criminal networks. The dark web will allow criminals to buy access into more sensitive corporate networks. Mobile devices, including smartphones, will be attacked in new ways, including app stores. Cryptocurrencies will play new roles, with criminals switching often for hiding advantages. And digital transformation projects grow. Many plans will implode as security challenges mount. And it goes on from here.
Granny cake over here.
And again, you have all these links in the description, both on YouTube and on Patreon, for our lovely, talented patrons. By the way, that's a prerequisite if you're going to be a patron. You need to be both lovely and talented. And if you're wondering, but am I? Well, if you're a patron, then you are. So, de facto, broad statements made on behalf of Bear. So, let's see. And then over here from securitymagazine.com, and then we will quit the nerd speak and do the prepper things. 5 cybersecurity predictions for 2021. And it's got all the blah blah lead-in paragraphs. Blah 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 blah. Cyber blah 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 blah. Cat 5 blah blah blah. Growth of cyber breach cost will outpace the growth of the global economy. So net loss when compare the economy against cyber attacks. That's an interesting prediction. The economy took an absolute major hit, sending the U.S. into a recession in February 2020. In 2021, the global economy will slow to single-digit growth as countries minimize activity in order to slow the spread of COVID-19. Bullshit. Meanwhile, as remote work and insecure data practices persist, cyber breach costs are slated to hit double-digit growth. Governments will demand data sovereignty solutions and move off the global cloud. It's no secret that political uncertainty in the U.S. has created unrest both domestically and globally. Not only has the trust between nation-states been at an all-time low, the increase of cyber attacks have challenged the defenses of local and state governments, with many resulting in ransomware situations. So again, in the mouths of 2 or 3, now we've got another ransomware thing there. Large-scale video calls will be replaced with smaller, more efficient video groups and breakout rooms. Okay, I don't need to get into all that. Organizations will future-proof by diversifying and moving beyond traditional cybersecurity tools and strategies. Okay, a new architecture will emerge for secure collaboration. Architecture essentially means hardware. Is that correct? Or is that the interface between hardware and software?
It's hardware network. It's a design.
It's the design.
Yeah.
When
and all of it wrapped up.
How it all goes together. The network, the hardware, the software.
Yeah, now one point they were talking about
the robot overlords.
Away from the cloud.
Uh-huh.
They can't do that quick.
Okay.
Because you have to, if you're going to remove your servers from a cloud and put them on a local server, you have to have the hardware, you have to have it set up, the balancing the network. I mean, it is not a quick, and the government is slow to begin with.
Right.
We've been moving to the cloud, and they're talking a multi-year move, and it ain't going to be
Nice.
There's no way they can get off the cloud that quick.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So our bureaucracy will fail us once again.
If that becomes a serious security threat, oh yeah.
Perfect. Good to know. All right, and with that, we'll go into some Q&A. Let me bounce over here to this thing right here. We're going to turn this thing off. We're going to grab...
You want granny cake?
No, babe, I am so good on granny cake. I appreciate you, though.
Want it later?
Later I might. I don't want it right now, though.
Well, yeah.
Lovo you mucho mucho.
Granny cake's a good, midnight snack.
Yeah. A midnight snack. Who's eating cake? What are you doing at midnight? You're like, I'd love some cake right now.
Obviously.
Who doesn't want like
Snacking.
chocolate cake?
Cake at midnight?
What were you telling me the other night you wanted?
I don't remember. I wanted a Kit Kat. I remember that. But I also thought our damn, our friggin' anniversary was,
I got some over
9 days from now, not 7 weeks ago.
Cake by
So,
the ocean.
Ken Williams Bear 2024. Sounds good. I'm down with that.
Random sweet things at midnight.
Random sweet
I had to get 'em
things.
like an oatmeal cream pie and
Do you know they have
So-
pepper peanut butter cream pies now?
Yes, peanut butter cream pies are the bomb. If somebody freeze dry me a peanut butter cream pie, I am in.
Put it.
Dane wants some granny cake.
granny cake's the best.
Hey, what's up, Billy Hill? Yeah, you can drop a song link. You should be able to.
Cake equals lasagna.
Not when your husband's had ball surgery. There's no lasagna.
Negatively charged smashed nuts at midnight. Hey, Forge knows what's on. Hey, that channel is awesome. Let me just take a moment that if you just need a giggle, the channel's called You Suck at Cooking here on YouTube. And there were a lot of people, I posted it on Patreon earlier, and I think half the people missed the fact that guy is just totally trolling. Like, he's not actually like that. He's just making fun of people that are like that. But he's so good at it that you're like, what's up with this fruitcake? But You Suck at Cooking. Awesome channel. Hysterical. Love it.
There's a girl I watched that she had like a cucumber and a zucchini, and she's like, I don't know why people call these different things. They're the same thing here in the U.S. And people like went
Lost their shit.
crazy.
Hey, Chris.
They're like, she's trolling you.
Oh, Rufus, man. That's low, bro. That's low.
Oh, take a peanut butter cream pie and soak it in peanut butter whiskey.
Hey, we have all that ice
He went
cream.
with the fat bottom guy.
Oh, we do have that.
Who doesn't want cake
That's
at midnight?
what it was. You had ice cream.
Well, I think,
Through
hold
balls.
on. Now, I'm not hip,
Grandma
but I do think cake also means ass cheeks these days.
Harmony,
What?
grandma cake.
Oh, you want grandma cake? Granny cake.
I'm a base creature.
Great granny
Rufus,
dressing.
good for you. Hey, is Mad Kel here? We need Mad Kel. Mad Kel, bring us back around right now. Granola guy left the rain stick. Yep. Mad Kel getting some karate vibes.
It's best.
Mad Kel
Jay
must be here.
Johnson adds help back.
It is correct. Sierra K says I'm correct. Yes, Rain Cat. Rain Cat knows what's up. You Suck at Cooking. Awesome channel. Means granny cakes. I'm not into granny cakes, bro. It's a whole... Oh, man. This...
I looked up Urban Dictionary of cakes.
Okay, and what is
A
it?
female with a large ass.
A female with a large ass. So that gets back to whoever made that
Which
comment
I
of
don't have.
who doesn't want cake at midnight.
Or
Come
granny
on.
cake. Granny cakes.
I know. I want 0 granny cakes now. Legalized for all. Wow, what happened? We got a discount banner side window, taking it up a notch. Yeah, well, I do things. I just don't always do the things all the time. A lot of times I do what's called a webcam live stream, where it literally just turns the camera on and that's all you see. But I also use a streaming software, like when I do the daily brief reports and stuff like that, like the first hour-ish of this broadcast, I use OBS Studio. Oscar Bravo Sierra for all the guys on multicam right now. Got an osprey pulling apart a full striped bass right in front of me right now, about 50 yards away. Dude, film it and put it on the Nature is Metal Instagram page. I've watched way too much of that today. Absolutely brutal.
You've been junking out on it?
Oh yeah, absolutely brutal. Barrett, how do you think gas shortages will affect your internet business? That's a great question because USPS has been quite unreliable for the last at least 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And then so we went to UPS, and almost all of our stuff is done through UPS or UPS.
Yeah. Exclusively now.
Right, but we still ship Bible's Media Mail with
Yes.
the post office.
Yeah. They're just way too much. I mean, otherwise we'd have to charge you, $15
Yeah.
$15 for shipping
Yep.
of a Bible. So And we just don't feel right about that.
Yep. Truck drivers in San Antonio being offered $14K weekly. If I can bring an AK with me, I am in. $14K weekly? What are you driving? For who?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
Yeah, which cartel is offering this deal to you?
Explosives or nuclear waste.
How about our crops? I don't know, man. I'm telling you, that cow over there freaks me out every time. I'm like, there's a Sasquatch in the background trying to kill us all. I'm telling you, I don't know.
You bumfuzzled, didn't you?
No, I'm trying to think about how to put this.
14K.
No, the grand solar minimum, I don't know if we're just having a cool year or if we're not just having a cool year or what, but I've been saying it just feels like it's going to get cooler and wetter. And it's May.
No, it's global warming, right?
Well, I know. The global warming failed. I actually heard somebody at some point say they did such a good job at stopping global warming that now it's cooling. I'm like, get the F out of here with that nonsense.
We all
Yeah,
to electric cars.
I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah. Gesundheit.
Like it doesn't take more fossil fuels to make an electric car then.
So that's what it was. We got the cows to stop farting.
But I mean, it's still like
Gesundheit.
we still typically get a couple of cooler snaps
This is like the 14th
in May.
one.
Yeah, I mean, but this isn't. It fluctuates. It fluctuates a lot here.
I just feel like if we were in Israel right now, Ya'd be like, you better build that damn ark. How many more warnings do you need?
If we were in Israel right now, we'd be taking cover.
Yeah.
No, if we were in... Well, I guess we're going to talk about that shit. So much for prep Q&A. Yeah, I guess I started it, huh? If we were in Israel right now, I'd probably have an M16 or a Galil. Be like, let's go problem solve. I've had enough of these rockets landing on people that I love.
Get it up like air.
For sure. Well, and
Brain buckets by
Kids are
Billy.
kids.
Brain Buckets by Billy. With some kind of Hebrew war paint on the side of it. Yeah.
Essex the brain bucket.
Yeah, imagine like Braveheart, but with blue tassels.
Yeah.
And basically that. Yeah.
So Raincat, that's part of the donation, is the charge for shipping.
Diesel farming. Got it. Okie can. Okay. Okie Khan. The diesel and farming. I don't know, but there's so many factors contributing to potential food shortage. Diesel and farming, again, being one of them. All these cold snaps, all of the excessive amounts of rain in some places and total lack of rain in other places. The just-in-time logistics, the supply chain, the lack of seeds, the lack of credit to farms, the fact that the USDA is not insuring a lot of farmers now, which means if they have another failed crop, then the bank owns their land, and banks are not so good at growing food. This happened after the Great Depression, where there was a legitimate lack of skill. You saw this in South Africa, where this revolution that happened, and we're going to kick all of the South African Dutch heritage people, the white folk, off of their land and take the land back. Well, guess what, dummy? The food comes from the land, but it doesn't just magically pop up out of the ground. If you don't put in the blood, sweat, and tears, there's no food to eat. Well, this also happened after the Great Depression hit. And a lot of people, especially in this area, the Oklahoma Dust Bowl, they just left. Actually, believe it or not, left here and went to California, so you're welcome. But there's nobody to grow food. And I'm not saying I'm not a catastrophist when it comes to this, but man, there's so many indicators. And it doesn't seem to be one big thing. It's not like a meteorite hit central Kansas and everything within 200 miles was obliterated, including the food. It's just, lack of financing, lack of insurance, lack of fuel, poor weather, lack of seeds, increasing operating costs, lack of labor. And it's all those little things that seem to incrementally be stacking up that you're seeing it playing out right now on prices at the store. Couple that with the weakening U.S. dollar. Do I think we're going to have a Weimar Republic situation where a wheelbarrow of cash is required to buy a loaf of bread? Not yet, but it might be a silver round, for a loaf of bread. And that's actually an end times indicator from the Bible, a denarius for a measure of wheat. And a measure of wheat.
Protect the banks and
What?
the government.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there, bail up banks, bail up big businesses, but they won't do anything for farmers. Like they're doing
A lot of farmers have been paid to not plant
Yeah.
by the USDA, which is a whole nother story. So, yeah, I don't feel optimistic about the macro United States situation. I do feel optimistic about the micro nation of Bearistan situation because we're doing what we can to be as prepared as possible. And that's kind of the point of this channel is we see these big macro trends, these things that make us scratch our head and go, I don't know about that. And that should spur us to action on the micro, the things that we can do on our level, so that when the wheels fall off of, big picture, macro, monoculture, industrial agriculture, okay, cool. Well, we've got a garden and a greenhouse and row crops and freaking chickens and turkeys and goats and sheep and cattle and deer running around in grandma's front yard and whatever else. So
Absolutely. I 100% agree, Jason.
what did Jason say?
He said, honestly, I've given up on caring about the rest of the world. It's not worth the stress.
That's pretty much how you roll.
That's how I roll. Like, unless it's... Like, I'll pay attention-ish, but
What's
I'm
up,
not,
Patriot
like,
Plumber?
up to date on everything. Just because I get too overwhelmed.
Well, and that's what happens.
And it stresses me out, and I, like... To me, it's a giant door to let the devil in.
I agree. But, what happens with most people that I see is that it creates anxiety. Mm-hmm. Because you are focusing your attention on things that you can't positively affect, rather than using that information. That's all it is information. And actually, I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I don't play any of those on the internet. However, I'll tell you my working thesis on this. That information triggers emotional responses a lot of the time. The emotional response and the stress is actually a biomechanical feedback mechanism that's telling you what you value and what you don't. We don't we don't get worked up about things that don't matter to us. So you have to look at, I'll give you a great example. I'm essentially on bed rest right now, and I'm losing my ever-loving mind because that's not how I roll. And so I get anxious about that because I want to do something, and I want to do something because I know that there's the role that I fill, the capacity that I play at the businesses and the ministry that we have is, it's not that I don't have capable people around us to take care of all the things that I'm not doing. It's that I love these people and I don't want something bad to happen. So I feel like I need to show up and perform and do what I do so that things can continue to roll down the path that we're already on. Right. And so I feel the stress and anxiety of not performing because I don't want there to be negative consequences due to my lack of action. Right. You look at the same thing of like, okay, there's food shortages or fuel shortage. We'll use fuel shortage. I'm panicked because, and I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying we'll just say I'm panicked because what's going to happen to our ability to farm? What's going to happen to our ability to transport goods? Well, that means that stress and anxiety that you're feeling is an indicator that you have concerns over the amount of food that you have and your ability to grow food, because that's where your mind is going to. And so that anxiety is overcome through the action of shoring up having enough long-term food storage on hand, having ways to prepare it, having the fuel that goes into it, having the cooking vessels and the utensils and the spices and the salt and the sugar and the yeast and the wheat and the water purification that you need and the water, all those things, that whole system of food and water under the banner of preparedness, you need to have that. And you should start with a little bit and work your way to a lot bit. And you need to know how to grow food. And so if you don't know how to grow food, you get 3 buckets. You plant a tomato, you plant a jalapeno, you plant cilantro. 90 days later, you make the best effing salsa you've ever had. If you've already done that, good for you. Find a piece of land, grow as much food as you can, give half of it away, sell some of it for charity, get your neighbors involved, seed, save, do whatever you can. Right? So you do what you can, and it's the doing of, the action that overcomes that anxiety that you're feeling about whatever that informational indicator is that triggered that stressful emotional response that you had in the first place. And so if you can, in the moment, get outside of your own head and go, this is stressing me out. Why is it stressing you out? That stress is a biomechanical feedback mechanism, and it's shining light on something that you think is very important. That it's up to you to reverse engineer a way to address that thing that you think is very important. Whether it's long-term longevity of people that you love, or it's short-term ability to pay your bills, or whatever you may have. And so stress is just an indicator of things that you should be paying attention to, that you value, that some part of you, your soul, your psyche, whatever, doesn't feel like you're doing as good of a job as you should be doing to address the situation. I'm a shut up now. Your turn, babe.
Did you see who's on?
Who?
Patriot Plumber.
Patriot Plumber.
I saw PP.
Yeah,
What's
right
up, PP?
That's good stuff.
That's my boy. Shame on you for saying the S word, salsa. Bro, duck into any place with a Mexican name on the sign and they give you chips and salsa the moment you walk in. Woken Woodsman, bless you,
We bought
bro.
a lot of fruit trees, too. We bought 2 peaches, 2 cherries, 2 pecans, 3 apples, some blueberries.
2 pecans sounds like a South American tribal name.
2 pecans.
They would have like the step pyramids where they would, murder people in blood rituals. The 2 pecans.
The 2 pecans.
The 2 pecans. You know what I mean. What else you got?
That's all I got. 2
Patricia
pecans.
Felton, bless you. Sake. They don't have sake and salsa in the same place. What kind of maniacal place are you at, dude? Some place that clearly has no boundaries on appropriating culture.
Sake and salsa?
I know, it doesn't even sound right.
Sake and kimchi?
Phelps is giving you the stink eye, bro.
Like sake and kimchi, maybe? But it's as close as you're getting to...
I don't know how they make kimchi Chinese, but
Do they have like salsa over in Japan?
Yeah. Fortunately enough, Lisa, we don't have hurricanes. We do have high winds every once in a while, but no hurricanes.
I bartered for 3 dwarf fruit trees. Romans, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Good job.
Yeah, a couple of mine are dwarfs and semi-dwarfs, but then a few of them, they only had standards. So
American restaurants?
those are the ones I got to figure out where to put,
China, Japan.
because we have a lot of trees anyways.
Good job, White Fox. Good job. Are gas prices hiked out your way? No. They slightly elevated, like
Yeah,
5%.
I think it's 270 something.
Imperial Boy says, I've been to a Japanese Latino restaurant that had both. It kicked ass. Well, I'm amazed and don't believe you at the same time. Like, I really... Whoop!
Good job.
Good. You want an elbow bump on that whoop? That was awesome.
Synchronize. We can do that again if we tried.
I know. Can you give me some
Yeah,
of them
I'll get them.
toallas de papeles?
What?
Toallas
Toallas?
de papeles. Don't make me habla en español at you.
Sorry, I don't speak Spanish.
Toallas de papeles.
Like, I can't even translate. I have no idea.
I think it's close to how you say it.
Oh, okay.
It's in the spirit of.
I didn't know we were reversing the words.
Okay.
I was thinking toilet. I thought of toilet paper. But I didn't get the...
It is cold.
It is
tonight.
cold out here. It's global warming, man.
I know, but I'm about to be like, let's crank up the propane heaters. Like,
It is chilly.
I gotta get the
Y'all,
furniture
it's
set.
only
We need
like
the.
50.
I know we're pussies.
Well, it might be 50,
We used
but
to
there's
sit
a
up here at,
breeze
like,
blowing and
32.
it's humid.
I remember,
So
like, this
I resemble
winter.
every mark.
We did
I
that-
bartered
that
some
12
carpentry work for 150 gallons and 91 octane. I think that's a good move, man. Hey, what's up, Jay Johns? Prepper survival skills. Tried to barter for sheep, but they want me to work and stuff. Well, Arkansas living, that's how it goes, man. That's why it goes. That's how it goes. You know why sheep farmers wear rubber boots? So the sheep can't run away when you stick your hind legs in them. Will be colder tomorrow night. Okie, wonderful.
Can you walk like that now?
Nina Gonzalez, bless you. Thank you. Everything that has happened last year plus has been orchestrated and planned. Welcome to the machine.
It's like sheep slippers.
I agree. I do agree with that.
Y'all are just nasty.
Sheep slippers?
My feet would
That'd
be so
nice.
warm.
Rage Against the Machine thing that.
We should tan a hide and make a sheep rug.
Bless you, broke one. Well, we have a lot of sheep we need to murder and cut up and put in the freezer. So if you want to tan
We
some
need
hides,
Sausage. We need that sausage.
yes, we.
Definitely.
I'm thinking
whatever
at
we
least
do that-
one of them suckers is
Yeah.
going to be sausage. At least.
There's nothing like that sausage and gravy with that sausage.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's
know.
worth a
Dream
whole
about that.
lamb.
Lisa, no, you don't need to raise your hand to ask a question. What do you got? There is a Torah for that bear. Yes, Logan, that is correct. I don't have any rubber boots. I'm just saying.
Mama, by the way, wanted to know if we were having a broody chicken issue here.
Oh, was that the question?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I did not see that.
I've only got one chicken that's ever a pain in the ass about being broody, and
Mhm.
she's a little banty named Shelly, 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 1, a 2, and a 3. And 2 and 3 look the same, but they're different.
Frost warning here tonight. Gosh dang, man. You people in the northern tier.
Mm-hmm.
Bear after dark. I'm picking up
Really
another
wanted
5
to
to
know
10
if we had
ewes
a
in
tick
2 weeks.
problem.
Justin, that is awesome, man. I have 4. How do you break them?
How many rubber boots do you buy a sheep?
The broody
Don't let 'em
broody
have-
hens?
It just
Oh,
needs one.
steal their eggs or buy them babies. A lot of people have good luck with just buying a couple of chicks and sticking like day olds and sticking them underneath them.
That's true.
So that way the moms kind of hop off the
Yeah.
eggs and are preoccupied.
Bless you, Joel. Thank you. Do we deal with ticks a lot? Yes. Not right now, we don't, because apparently it's 50 degrees. But yes, we do. Yeah, it's tick season has kind of started already, and really from
It sucks.
about now till November.
Yeah.
If you're in the woods, you need to spray yourself down with DEET, permethrin, whatever you got. You know, fuel oil, whatever.
Well, it hasn't been warm enough for chiggers yet. But
And then
those devils are coming.
please read Revelations. Well, I'll get to that comment momentarily.
That's a loaded comment.
Yeah, been there. Shalom, Savvy. But you also try to avoid going in the woods during that time of year around here because it's that egregious.
Yeah. Geranium oil also works really well on ticks.
Geranananium oil. Roger that.
Oddly enough. For
So-
some reason they don't like it.
So the please read Revelations. I have every intention of reading Revelations. I've already read it 4 times. I just haven't read it on camera with y'all yet.
'Cause they tend to
But
fall.
I just read all of Galatians for y'all. So for those that were asking for Galatians videos, they're coming. Read all of Galatians, and then we've got Ephesians, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Titus, Philemon. Philemon's in there, and then by the time you finish with 3 John and Jude's in there. It's like a 1-pager, and then you're on to Revelation. So we're a couple months out from Revelation. Also, Pastor Joe has a whole series at Shofar Mountain, YouTube channel Shofar Mountain. SHOFAR Mountain. Has read the entire book of Revelation start to finish recently, and it's a really good read, really well presented. So I would recommend checking that out until we get to it. Matthew Brady James is my favorite book. I agree completely.
Yep.
James is so freaking tactical. Like, you want to be a follower of Messiah? Sit down, boy. And I love it. I love it because he just knife hands you. Knowledge, bless you, Knowledge. Thank you, Knowledge 85.
Hey, Uncle Cody's here.
Uncle Cody's here.
And
wants his
congratulations.
Where's Aunt Cody at?
Uncle Cody wants his slice of granny cake.
Well, he lives in the wrong state for that to happen. One more reason you should relocate.
Tell him it was delicious.
Very.
I have not talked about. We've kind of danced around what's happening in Israel right now. Some people fired some rockets. Some other people fired some rockets. Some people responded. Some other people responded. And it's getting weird. Hey, Bear, do you think we're in Revelations? Joseph, I don't know, man. I vacillate back and forth on that a lot. Matthew 24 is straight from the mouth of Yeshua, straight from the mouth of Jesus about what end times are going to look like. And rather than paraphrase it, I'll just briefly read it to you. And for those of you who are wondering, when would this live stream devolve into Bear reading his Bible? Now is your time to leave if you're not into that.
There's always a moment.
There's always a line, and we found it at a minute or an hour 35 on this stream.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he did the proof.
Yeah. So, Matthew 24, and going out, Yeshua, Jesus, Yeshua went away from the set-apart place, the temple, and his taught ones, the apostles, came near to point out to him the buildings in the set-apart place. And Yeshua said to them, "Do you not see all these? Truly I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another at all, which shall not be thrown down." And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the taught ones came to him separately, saying, "Say to us, when shall this be? And what are the signs of your coming and of the end of an age?" So, when's the temple going to get destroyed? When are the signs of your coming? And what are the signs of the end of your age? It's three different things there. BT dubs. And Yeshua answering, now they're all connected, but three separate distinct things. And Yeshua answering said to them, "Take heed that no one leads you astray." So first of all, bro, pump your brakes. Take heed that no one leads you astray. And now remember, this is the creator of the universe manifested in a fleshly body. He could have responded to this however he saw fit. The first thing he said was, "Homie, pump your brakes. Take heed that no one leads you astray. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray." And so, there's an indicator. How many people are walking around the face of the earth right now saying, "I am the Messiah"? There's a few. There always have been, and there always will be until Yeshua comes back again. But is it many? I don't know if it's many yet. So that's, for me, I don't know if it's many. "And you shall begin to hear of wars and reports of wars, wars and rumors of wars. And see that you are not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet." Okay, roger that. There will be war, there will be rumors of wars, but the end isn't yet. Copy that. "For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign," or kingdom against kingdom. Nation is the Greek word ethnos. It means people group. People group shall rise against people group, and kingdom against kingdom. That's like nation state, like, Israel and Iran, or the United States and Britain, or Russia and China. Right? So people group against people group, and nation state against nation state. "And there shall be scarcities of food." Almost like, hey, in Deuteronomy 30, when it says, "If you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, then your storehouses shall be blessed," as if the implication is we should have storehouses. And so if you've ever had anybody give you a ration of shit as a prepper and a Christian that you had storehouses, you should tell them to actually read their Bible, because it says food shortages or scarcities of food in the Bible 87 times, as if the Father wanted to get our attention. "And there shall be scarcities of food and deadly disease and earthquakes in diverse places." The implication there is in places that don't normally have earthquakes, there will be earthquakes. And all of these are the beginning of the birth pains. Then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. So currently, there are believers in Messiah that are being persecuted for no other reason than the fact that they claim Yeshua is Messiah. They believe that Jesus is the Christ, and that is absolutely an abomination. That is stone cold murder, and the people who perpetrate that will be judged at the end of an age. Revelation 19, they are the people that Messiah's robe, it's their blood that his robe is covered in. Okay, and those are also the people, the great multitudes in Revelation 7, that as the 144,000 are counted, there's 144,000 that are pulled out, 12 out of each tribe that were set apart from the seed of Abraham, the promise of redemption. Those are the Hebrews, right, who have come to an understanding of Yeshua as the Messiah. These are like Jews for Jesus kind of thing, although Jews and Hebrews are two different things. Jew is one of 12 tribes. So you are a Hebrew if you're a Jew, but you're not necessarily a Jew if you're Hebrew. Whole nother story. But then there's so many believers in Messiah that they can't be counted, that John in his vision in Revelation can't even count them. That's these people that are being delivered up and killed in the name of Messiah for no other reason than their belief. That's not us currently. Praise the Father. So that indicator, we've not met that benchmark, right? And then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Also, that indicator has not been checked. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver one another up. That stumble there means the stumbling block. They're going, just like Balaam, they're going to whore with other gods. They're going to turn away from the Father. And they shall deliver up one another. They're going to turn against each other. They're going to turn inward and go, this guy is a believer in Messiah, kill him. Well, yeah, buddy, but last week you were sitting next to him at church. But you've turned away from that. You've stumbled, and so now you're delivering up other people to affliction. And it shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray. And here's the verse that so many people hate. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall grow cold. Because the two prime directives from Messiah in Matthew 22 is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. Love him with everything you got, kid. And love your neighbor as yourself. And on this hangs all the Torah and the prophets. Well, the Torah is the law. Right? And so half of the law is how you love your neighbor as yourself. And so because of the increase in lawlessness, people are disobeying the Father's word, which is the biblical definition of sin in 1 John 3 verse 4, that the love of many shall grow cold. Not only are they not loving their neighbor as themselves, they're not loving their Father as they've been told how to. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. And this is the good news of the kingdom, shall be proclaimed in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end shall come. So when you see the abomination that lays waste, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, set up in the set apart place, he who reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judah flee to the mountains. GTF, bro, bug out when you see the abomination that lays waste. Let him who is on the housetop not come down or take whatever out of his house. And let him who is in the field not turn back to get his garments. Meaning you should be ready to roll. Your bug out should be squared away, bro. Don't lollygag. Grab your shit and go. And woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing children in those days. And pray that your flight does not take place in winter or the Sabbath day. Pray that your flight doesn't take place in winter or the Sabbath day. Yeshua himself doesn't even know the timing of this. The specifics of. You better pray, man, that it's not on a Sabbath, that you're in a position that you can roll, that it's not the middle of winter that you can bug out, right? For then there shall be great distress, such as not been seen since the beginning of the world until this time, no, not even, nor ever shall be. And if those days were not shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the sake of the chosen ones, those days shall be shortened. And if anyone then says to you, look, here is Messiah, or there, do not believe, for false messiahs and false prophets shall arise, and they shall show great signs and wonders, so as to be led astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. See, I have forewarned you. So if they say, look, here he is in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he's in the inner rooms, do not believe. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines to the west, so also shall the coming of the Son of Adam be. For whoever the body... I can't see my Bible.
The other.
Yeah, it's too dark over here. Thank you. For whoever the dead body is, there the vultures shall be gathered together. And immediately after... That is brilliant. Thank you. And immediately after the distress of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Adam shall appear in the heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Adam coming on the clouds, and the heaven with power and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds, from the ends of the heaven to the other. And learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth fruit, you know that the summer is near. So you also, when you see these, know that he is near at the doors. Truly I say to you, this generation shall by no means pass away until all this takes place. The heavens and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. So, to answer the question of, is this end times, without even having to jump into Revelation, that's what Messiah has to say on the subject. And a lot of those indicators have not been checked yet. So once we start checking those off as far as beginning of the birth pains, then I think it's safe to say, yeah, we're at the beginning of the birth pains. And then for me, the absolute is the two witnesses at the Temple Mount. How do you argue against that? These guys are going to spit fire from their mouths.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, Sam's like, battle dog stuff. So, anyway. My new neighbor claimed Jesus was a socialist. I told him, haha, Jesus, he had confused Jesus with Hitler and we weren't going to get along very well. That's a good answer. Right side brain, sorcery equals pharmakia, big pharmacy. Vaccine is mark of the beast as it alters function of DNA through your blood forever. No jab, Acts 15:20. You know, more or less, but I think the mark of the beast is something that, for me personally, I think a lot of people have wrong. You will knowingly take it. There will not be, I tricked you into it. You took the mark of the beast. You will knowingly take the mark to be able to buy and sell. And the vaccine does have the potentiality for that. But you will know the implications of it because you will not be held faultless in your heart condition when judgment comes. There will be no excuse. You know that you did it, and it is in your hand or on your head. And that is because the enemy is a copycat. And he's copying Deuteronomy 6. Bind it up
to denounce something.
Yeah, bind it upon your wrist and let it be as frontlets between thine eyes. Well, that's the Father's word, man. That's the Torah, the Father's laws and instructions. So you are to have the laws and instructions in your mind, in your head, man, and bound upon your wrist. Well, what is the mark? It's the same thing. In your head or in your hand, bound upon your wrist. And you will knowingly take it because you will be judged on whether or not you have it. And there's no gray area in that. And that's in Revelation 19. Nobody's going to trick you into taking the mark. That's my opinion of it. Your opinion might differ. Your mileage may vary. And that's perfectly okay.
I think this is all a conditioning. Some people are saying this is a conditioning for when it actually happens. But it's not.
Yeah, I think conditioning is a great way to look at it. But I don't believe that the vaccine is the mark. Because you will, not you necessarily who's hearing this, but people will clamor for it, so that they can continue to whore with Babylon, to suckle on the teat of the system, so that they can buy, sell, and trade. And there's a lot of teaching in this for us. Noah was not dependent upon the system. Noah literally built his own system. Yes, he had the help of God and angels, but so do we. Get busy. As Pastor Joe is encouraging people right now, build your ark. They will, transgressors will knowingly take the mark. No one will trick you into it, because you will not be held. There's no wiggle room. There's no way for you to be held blameless if you take it. So there can be no misunderstanding. With enough pain or discomfort, many will willingly take what they need in order to function with a sense of comfort. I agree, Josh. I totally agree. And again, whether or not we're in end times, you see that now. People compromise their security and sovereignty for what they consider to be safety and comfort all the time. It's the problem that we have as Americans right now, that we're facing right now, is, listen, earmuffs, kids. We have a nation that's not all, but is in large part comprised of a bunch of sopping wet pussies. And because life is hard and scary, and people said words that I didn't agree with, and it made me feel feelings I don't like to feel. Suck it up, Buttercup. What's up, AVT? Dr. Trevor Wilkins is in the house. He can fix all of this.
Shalom.
Everybody look at the blinky lights and hold the little bean things. Bzz, 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 bzz. There you go. Fixed it. Love me some dangerous freedom. Amen, James. I noticed he's been trying to expand. Who's been trying to expand? By the way, if y'all are not following Dr. Trevor Wilkins, you should be. So if you need some motivation, if you need some mindset adjustment from somebody who's like literally been there, literally done it, has all the creds, but isn't like some stuffed up doctor sitting in a chair in his office, puffing on a pipe, going, yes,
You need glasses.
indeed, yes, verily, indubitably, yes. But somebody who's like been there, done that. If you've had a high risk lifestyle, special forces, military, law enforcement, EMS, firefighters, basically first responders and military, and you've got some stuff in your head, you just need to brain dump, or you need a place to go to help yourself get squared away, I highly recommend Dr. Trevor Wilkins. He's got a YouTube channel here. He's one of the blue wrenches in the comments. Angry Viking Therapist, the Angry Viking Therapist. You can find him here on YouTube. Dude is a friend and a brother, and I can't say more nice words about him. He's awesome. Is that Dixon's truck?
Yeah.
Where's Dixon's golf cart?
They went off in it. That's what they took off in.
What is going on around
I went to
here?
investigate.
I know.
On things,
So,
boys will be boys.
I know. ABT in a smoking jacket. You need one of those cigars that blows bubbles and just, gosh, indubitably. How does that make you feel? Gosh. I feel like Dixon's gonna back into a tree.
No tree.
You got a body in there you need to burn or what?
They're not answering that question.
I mean, I didn't say that on the internet.
Park next to the compost for a reason.
Okay. Good to know.
Hashtag body bag. Bear's in the bed and everyone is buck wild.
Bear's in the
Bear
bed.
is not in the bed.
I'm right here,
You see
bro.
him? He is here with
Those
you,
are Vanessa
Lisa.
Phelps. Did you guys find anything exciting? Oh, nothing. It stopped right after you guys got off of work.
Cooper's got a shovel. Good to know.
I got a wet butt though. How's that? Is it wet?
It's pretty wet.
I do too.
Nice. Cut feed incoming, right? People freaking out here in southern Middle Tennessee after gas stations running out of gas. No one would listen. Hey, that happens. Maybe they'll listen now. It's an opportunity for preparedness evangelism. Go, bear, stand track, ho. That's right. Ariana is laughing. She thinks you are extra funny. What's up, Ariana? Great to see you.
You do the
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Where are you? Oh, that's your tobacco.
I'm putting a fat bottom Betty in the bag right there because fat bottom girls make the rock and world go round. Where do
called
I
cakes
get
now.
they're called cakes now. That's right, I forgot. Where do I get the tall boots that you have? They are Irish Setter brand, and I got mine from the heliport on Bezos's yacht a couple years ago. This has been a weird live stream. You're welcome, Oki's boss. No one listened to the things until things started happening. That's right.
It's usually how it happens.
That's usually how it happens. Hi, Carl. What's going on, Carl? Just wondering, do you get my email or do I need to send another? Dragon Shield? Yes, we got Dragon Shield's email, right?
I mean,
It's at our forensic analysis division right
It
now.
might be smart to send it again.
Well, it depends. I need
The
more
inbox is
context.
pretty clean.
I need more context.
I don't remember anything.
Trespassers.
Send it again. Put harmony in the subject line.
Send it again and put harmony in the subject line. Dragon Shield. Carl's already on top of it. Irish Setters all day long. Irish Setter Vapo Trek Snake Boots. They're legit. There you go, Tactically Tora. There you go.
Somebody got it. Yeah, we just
Can't
don't know.
handle the wild taste of sheep lamb. What? Mike Ray. You've eaten the wrong sheep, bro.
Cook it right.
What is your opinion on using a lot of solar for homestead to get off grid? I'm not against it at all. But I think a lot of people, when you're on grid, we are wildly bad at policing our electron flow consumption. Like really, really bad at it. And so all the things, well, first of all, HVAC and refrigeration use the most electrons in the average house. So keeping your food cool and keeping you warm and cool is what's going to use most of your electricity. And so if you have the ability or the interest, you could get a propane-fired refrigerator. Yes, that's a thing. You can get a propane fridge that'll keep your groceries cool.
Sucks on those.
Availability on everything sucks right now, though,
Well, I'm just
because
saying, like the selection, like they're very
hashtag
small.
apocalypse.
No, they're just small.
You're ruining this guy's dreams. He's going to go jump off a tall building instead of coming out of my
I
people
happen
now.
to be looking at this exact same thing today.
Well,
so-
maybe you could come over here and speak to the people about it instead of speaking to the back of the microphone. Z Torrents. I fell asleep watching video game replays and woke up to Bible time with Bear. Needless to say, that was REM sleep roller coaster. Morning, Torrents.
I can imagine. Jeez. No, so I happened to be looking at this exact thing today, and yeah, like the selection of propane ran refrigerators sucks. They are very small. They are typically about 13 square feet was the biggest one that I found.
PJ has a
Or
decent
cubic
size
feet, not square feet.
that's-
Cubic feet.
That's pretty big compared to what I see.
But they're tiny, and most families have bigger needs than that.
one. It depends on who is doing this, though.
Yeah,
Because I've lived out of a hotel for 10 years, and that mini fridge was more than enough for me. So it depends.
And you also do things differently. Like we lived in
Right.
a trailer
Mm-hmm.
with what is that? Probably like a 7 square foot cubic foot, 8 cubic foot. And
Tell
that
me
little
I
RV
think
one
so, but I haven't been to
And
my
we did
front porch
fine.
yet.
with 6 people living out of
Mm-hmm.
it. You shop differently.
Right. So refrigeration and HVAC are going to be your two biggest consumers. Lighting, if you're gonna be off grid, just go ahead and plan on 12 volt lighting, 12 volt wiring, and all your stuff. There's a loss in power anytime you jump from AC to DC or DC to AC. Yeah. So I would honestly look at what do you need, and then it's like, well, what else do you have? The ability to do laundry.
Hot water.
Do you have 6 people or do you have 2 people? Because again, it's a different thing. Because you have that little laundry machine thing.
Yeah.
Foot powered one.
The spin. No, it's a hand crank.
It's a hand. That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's totally hand crank.
Yeah. It's the Wonder washer, Wonder something, and then I have the Ninja spin dryer.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. But the word dryer, it's really like centrifugal force. Because it spins at like 3,600 RPM.
It's a solid spinner for your clothes.
Right.
And
yeah,
then you hang
pretty
them up to
much.
dry
And then
after
you hang
that.
them up to dry
You
after.
can do it
Yeah.
on a tree with a bucket too.
Everything I can video.
2 buckets.
Put a good suggestion in there. Look for old RVs.
Yeah, that was a good comment.
Yep.
Look for old RVs for the fridge.
They get more than one fridge.
It's J. John's good comment. It's really important to get clear on what your needs are. Exactly. So, and the question is based around building a solar system to run off grid. Well, the question again is run what? So you need to know what that is. It's the same as building a house like on grid. There's an electrical load study that's done before the house is ever built. There's an electrical plan that determines, what size feeder wires need to come in. Usually they're, for residents, 4-aught 200 amp into a load center that's got 40 spaces, and we need a 40 amp for the 40 amp 240 for the stove, and a 50 amp for the hot water heater, and a bunch of 20 amps for receptacles and 15s for the lights, and blah 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 blah. And when it's all said and done, this is how many amps we're going to be pulling. And so you need to figure all that out. And there's lots of good websites for this, actually. Like, you could just look up, like, off-grid load calculator or solar load calculator. Now, a lot of the solar load calculators I've seen have been designed around trying to get you to buy solar panels from them, but they still have the calculator. It's still there. Mike Ray, roger that. Balkanization in the U.S. I think that's going to be a thing. What do you think about balkanization?
I don't know what that is.
We go from one big country to split up into several smaller countries.
Oh.
I can't thermoregulate.
I thought you meant we were all going to have 20 years.
We're going to have pointy ears? Like this? Whatever, Grumpy.
Star Trek thing. Thank you, Shirley.
So if you're Grumpy, who would I be? Is there one called Pissy? I'd be fun. Murdery? Is there one called Murdery? Hard to dry clothes when it's raining all the time. Yep, absolutely.
That's true.
Solar is going to have to get at least 35% before it's economically sound. 10 sections, 5 states per section. Maybe. I think we're looking at more like 6-ish, 6 to 8-ish. You look like a bearded Buddy the Elf. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Texas T, what's up, brother? Bear looks like the Pope. Well, get this phallus off of my head, then.
That's the one thing you can say of it.
Yeah, Corey J. Corey J doesn't realize how long we live stream for. It's only 9 o'clock.
Like I went to work, I came back, and
Yeah.
so on.
We'll go to bed soon.
Yard gnome. I saw, gosh, I've spent way too much time on social media since this surgery. It was like an Instagram ad, and I did not buy it because last time I did that, I spent $40 on a hoodie and then had $450 in unsolicited charges on my card from a pharmacy in California. As if they were not connected at all. But it was a 3-piece AK-47 wielding garden gnomes statues package, and I wanted to get it and give it to PJ and SK for their garden. But maybe not tell them. Just like strategically place them in the garden so one day they're out there weeding and there's this little red-hatted dude with an AK pointing through the bushes. garden gnome policy is definitely Sasquatch and alien policy as well.
That is awesome.
You can find those at Big Lots. Okay, good to know. I moved from Fort Worth through town with 1,200 people, doing things one step at a time. Good job, Diana. Battle gnomes are awesome. I love it. Hello from Gasless, Virginia. Eat some of those pinto beans you've been stacking, and you got plenty of gas. Archangel, we love you back. Except for when you do that one thing. That's okay, though. Well, I mean, I guess we love you anyway, but you should repent to that. Just knock it off.
What are we talking about?
I'm just totally messing with Archangel. I'm just wondering if he's like frowny facing right now. And I was like, oh, he caught me. No, I'm just messing with you. And then Phillips is speaking Russian at us. Those sound awesome. Life wants garden gnomes. Guess we can compromise now. There you go, man. There you go. Well, what else should we do? Should we check the updates on Israel? Currently, the nation state of Israel. Israel.
No, you did Kiss Rail.
I did. Bear thumbs. Israel. Oh my gosh, man.
It's on fire.
Yeah, it's on fire. All the news agencies say they ignited. I don't know if I can say it. You ignite things when you set them on fire. It's on fire.
All right. Let's go back to screen share mode. If we can. I should be able to do that.
Joshua
no problem.
Paul, not yet. It's coming.
By the way, for those who have just stopped in or new here, May is Stop the Bleed month, so it's 20% off using promo code Stop the Bleed. 20% off store-wide for the remainder of the month at bearindependent.com and refugemedical.com. So if you've been eyeballing a kit, bro, now's the time.
There's 6 adventure kits in stock. Or
no, there's less than that.
I'm sure
Several
there's
have been
less.
bought already during the live stream. So please check that out, bearindependent.com and refugemedical.com. And then also 10% off training, which is rare. We don't often do that, but we've got some dates in Paola, Kansas, which is southwest of Kansas City. Just a couple of clicks. And then we've got some classes in Tallahassee, Florida. Myself, my wife, Angery American, the prepper author, and his wife will be at both of those classes in Tallahassee. And then we've got some in Moore, Oklahoma. We've got some seats left in Moore, right, Phelps?
Yes.
Just a few.
Just
We've got just a few classes left in Moore, Oklahoma, which is outside of Oklahoma City. So please make sure to use that promo code. We appreciate y'all for supporting our American small businesses. Let's go over here. There we go. The Guardian. Israel-Gaza violence. Death toll rises to 38 as UN envoy warns over escalation. Further airstrikes and rocket fire reported early on Wednesday in Gaza, Tel Aviv, and Beersheba. Oh, man, that's not looking so great right there. I don't know if this is going to play through. Boom. Gosh dang, bro. Israel airstrike demolished tower block and Hamas rocket hits bus as violence escalates. More than 30 people were killed as Israeli jets and Palestine militias clashed.
It's amazing though when you see like a building come down like that. That 30 people. It's
Israel's
sad, but
Iron Dome defense system intercepted over 100 rockets. I don't understand how a secular nation can be so tied to a piece of ground. Now, I understand being tied to a piece of ground, but Israel is a secular nation. Being a Jew is one of those things that's a religion, a heritage, and a country of origin. And it's amazing to me how many secular Jews are just there. Israel has vowed to intensify its strikes on Gaza in response to rocket attacks by Hamas. Hamas launched the strikes after Israel police raided the Holy Alaska Mosque in 10 May. There we go. Gross. Hate seeing that. Let's see. Israeli jets and Palestinian militants traded fresh airstrikes and rocket fire early on Wednesday as the UN's Middle East envoy called for a cessation of hostilities, warning we're escalating towards a full-scale war. I think so, bro. The death toll since the unrest broke out early on Tuesday rose to 38, 35 in Gaza and 3 in Israel, as Israel carried out hundreds of airstrikes in Gaza, and Palestinian militant groups fired multiple rocket barrages at Tel Aviv, Beersheba, and other central Israeli cities. UN envoy Tor Wennesland, great name, said leaders on all sides have to take the responsibility of de-escalation after a day of ferocious confrontations, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised to intensify attacks on Gaza. And it goes on with blah blahs from here. Let's see if we got anything else. Breaking. The New Jerusalem Post. 2 killed in Lod. An overnight rocket barrage. IDF retaliating in Gaza. I don't want your... What do I get 1 month free? I get 1 month free of the Jerusalem Post. That's good to know. I'm really enjoying that. IDF enters Lod as city goes into emergency lockdown. What's he holding there? It looks like a little subgun.
It's little.
Is it a subgun or is that a grenade launcher?
Maybe.
Looks like a subgun. Lod, a city in central Israel, is known for being one of the crime centers of Israel, was announced as being in a special civilian emergency on Tuesday night after Defense Minister Benny Gantz announced the diversion of border police officers to the city to serve as backup to authorities attempting to control violent protesters. Damn, bro, use punctuation. That run-on sentence was almost as bad as trying to read Paul in freaking Romans and Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 1 is one long run-on sentence. It never stops. This means that the city is now an enclosed area monitored by the IDF. Overall, 17 residents of Ramley and Lod were arrested on Tuesday. KAN reported, "We will do everything to blah, 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 blah." Netanyahu said some blah, blahs, more blah, blah, blah. "If this isn't an emergency situation, I don't know what is." He added, "We're talking about life and death here." Well, very clearly you are. So yeah, it looks like things are intensifying in Israel, and ramifications for us, I can't really say, at least at this point. Although we don't seem to be overly hesitant to get into another war in the Middle East. Or to continue the ones we're already in the Middle East. So,
It's holding a 37mm intact.
Machiavelli Customs, roger that. That's what I couldn't discern if it was a bloop machine, tube launcher, or a subgun. I say we give Israel the southern half of the state of Florida or California. Either way, it's a win. The banking system is quite pro-Israel. You know, interestingly enough, so is a lot of the Christian church. Modern Christian, Big C Christian church is quite pro-Israel in a lot of cases as well. And it's almost a damn shame that if they just read their Bibles, they'd realize that Israel's a heart condition and they're supposed to be it. Mike Ray, shave your own damn head. Just ordered 2 boo-boo kits. Thanks for paying for the shipping. Stop the bleed. Ace Grep, bless you, man. That's awesome. Thank you. Ashley Spears, roger that. I hope they aren't getting politically correct. Yeah, Israel is an open-air concentration camp. That's an interesting way of looking at it. The banking system, yup. 100% Israel is a heart condition. That's absolutely right. You believe in Yeshua, Jesus as Messiah, you are Israel. Do you think this pretend administration will back Israel? No, I don't. I don't think so at all. In fact, I think that's already been made pretty clear. But I also don't know how much it matters. in the big scheme of things either. There's always been a lot of hay made about the U.S. support or lack thereof of Israel. And Israel, as all nations, generally speaking, acts in its own best interest. And Israel is quite unapologetic of that. And to that point, good on them. They should be. They should do what they need to do to protect their people. I don't like images of rockets landing in the streets and killing people and leveling buildings. But we could easily take that and put that on the southern border of the United States of America. And think about the response that one could have there. I mean, there were probably as many people killed in Laredo, Texas in this past week as were just recently killed by Hamas in Israel. In fact, I bet a quick Google search could flesh that out. And there's friggin' rockets flying into the Gaza Strip right now. I'm not calling for warfare or bloodshed, but I'm saying it's almost comforting to see that kind of militant ideology that, oh, you killed some of our people, watch this. So, Hawaii Volcano Squad. Yeah, IDF is a hard target for his enemies, absolutely.
Jim Morris, that was Brother DR.
What did I miss?
DR and Oki playing games.
Yeah.
They put a straw in his box?
Yeah. They've been messing with some reoccurrent.
Oh, they're just giving extras?
Yeah.
Chopsticks in someone.
That's your special gift.
Yeah.
Comes with a free prize.
You're well loved when you get something and you're like, why are there chopsticks in my bear pack?
They put a straw in Jay Morris's bag.
Concrete Hades. It's at the top of the screen. Do y'all not watch? I'm sorry. Stop the bleed. All together.
It is
One
right
word.
there. Like I can see it, right?
Yeah. Well, not when
I can see it.
I'm on old, but yeah.
Well,
can
maybe
see
they're
it.
on mobile though. Maybe they can't see
I
it.
can see
Maybe.
it on my phone. He can see it on his laptop.
I put it in the comments like every 10 or 20 minutes.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and look now. Oh yeah, I can see it, bro.
Yeah.
So
I think people just probably do like, well,
there it is.
Faces and
yeah. Depending on when they are into the chat or into the video.
I mean, it's there,
Yeah.
right? So I can see it.
if they're right at the beginning, it was white. So if they're like a couple hours behind,
It's okay,
true.
Concrete 80s.
I deadlied it.
It's okay. You know, like, consumer-wise, so many people don't look up.
That's how deer hunting works.
It's like a statistic, but like they just it's the middle section and like
So
down,
hold
but
on, let me-
very few people tend to look up, and that's like typically where your signs are. And
here's your sign.
there you go.
There's your shot. Is this better?
Your butt head.
All right, I fixed it, y'all. There you go. I need a kit for cigars and whiskey for my vacation coming up. Well, hey man, that kit that Brother DR put together for me was
you can
awesome.
Buy a bare minimum bag only,
Yeah.
and then.
See, the
to
thing
town
is,
with it.
we can't ship you cigars or whiskey.
Decompression
Right.
needle
'Cause-
cigar. Like,
Right, I know, right?
like, there's some
Click
spots
this
that are
box.
really
Yeah, that's all we need.
ETD,
We just need a click this box. You know, we really need to not think about this because now my brain is turning again. I'm like, well, what would it take to be able to sell cigars and whiskey
No.
retail, which then means we can
You're a
buy them
wholesaler.
wholesale. So we could sponsor Dixon's
Hey.
Patreon page.
When we get
Under
our
the
liquor
Shoot
license
Productions.
Are we just
for our
gonna have a
restaurant-
business under like all the ATF, like
Yeah,
alcohol, tobacco, and firearms?
for
like,
sure. Absolutely.
A business for each.
Soon we're going to be having that
morning beverage.
Mm.
That's
That is true.
finalized within a couple weeks.
The Bear Blend.
The Bear Blend.
I'm pretty sure the adventure kit, if you pull the guts out, will hold 2 bottles of liquor and a whole bunch of cigars.
This is true. This is true.
Do it.
Yeah,
You
because
can get a lot of stuff in a stomp bag. Like, hang a bag. Like, that's whiskey, you dumbass.
Hey, they've seen your EDC bag.
A Cub Pro bag, you could fit the little baby bottles.
And really well.
That's
Yeah.
true. You know, Okie, you say that, but I'm a Cherokee, so I don't think I'm paying taxes in Oklahoma anymore. So, that's how you wind up getting a safe dropped on you. Yeah, it happens. What's up, Romans? Are you familiar with the WELS church? No, not at all. I've never even heard of that.
WELS.
The stogies and booze can be gifted.
That's true, medic. As long as it
We just have to make sure our price
bag
thing-
only
Right.
$2.99.
There's an ABT kit that we're trying
Wink,
to make.
wink.
An
I
AVT
got
kit. I like
some
it.
Ideas on
Bless you, Badger. Shortcut tobacco is a drug and whiskey is alcohol. So antiseptic. You've got medical supplies. Ta-da! I like that.
Can I use my FSA?
That's funny. Yeah. Not for human consumption, for antiseptic purposes only.
Hey, I used
Good
to
to
buy
know.
milk.
You can put
When you
a
buy
label.
raw milk in Florida, it says for pet consumption only on it when you buy it.
Mm-hmm.
People would open my fridge and I'd be like, my children are my pets.
There you go. QRF's going to supply the apple pie. Don't look up when you pee, man. You will get a rash on your feet. Oh, thanks, Mike. If I started Clinton's cigar shop, would you get your cigars from me?
What?
Well,
No.
No.
There's a tour for that.
I don't want anything to do with where Clinton's cigars have been. And listen, I'm not saying, I'm sure Monica was a really nice girl, but gosh dang, you're the most powerful man in the world.
There's other people who have kept it secret, Jordan.
I'm saying JFK and
I
Bobby.
would bet all of them.
Yeah, all of them. That,
Except for, you know,
that
George
Hooker
Bush
Monroe.
Senior.
Yeah.
With the last name Kennedy.
Yeah. With the last name.
Archangel, amen. Yahweh doesn't want a place, he wants his children. There you go. Bear Independent, you could just give it away for a donation. Absolutely. It's like, the description would be Bear Essentials First Aid Kit. Wink, wink. And then it would say bag only with the emoji of the winky face. And yeah, and then the description would say perfectly holds 2 bottles of Screwball and a box of tobacco specials.
I thought
And a
Monica
straw.
was-
Not included, asterisk, and a straw.
By the straw.
But
for
the bag is really.
Somebody did
150
point out
bucks.
that Monica was no Maryland.
Monica was no Maryland. That's kind of the point I was driving at here. It's like, but I mean, look at Hillary. I mean, don't actually look at Hillary. Don't do that. But
Monica
I mean,
was mail-in
when
compared to Hillary.
when it comes to like,
True.
how do people vote for this guy? Clearly, he has no judgment.
He
You
played
know?
the sax on the Tonight Show.
That's
No.
true. He did play the
He said he has
saxophone.
no judgment based on who we married.
That's how I'm going to get elected president.
Badger
I'm going to go on
thinking it's
SNL and play a bunch of freaking death metal on my drum kit, and then punch that dude from Keenan. What's his name?
He became
Yeah, I'm gonna punch that guy in the face. I might body slam a couple people.
I like the name. Badger says it's called the Wink Wink.
I like it. It's a good one.
When's the wink wink coming out?
Stroh's. Andrew Vare. Stroh was the bomb, dude. There was a band that we were really good friends with in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And the bassist, James, in this band worked at a liquor store. And he brought me a bottle of Stroh's. He brought us a bottle of Stroh's one time. Or Stroh. I think it was just Stroh. To try before a show. Dude, it was so good. It was like drinking like vanilla caramel. And then somebody shooting a flamethrower down your throat. But that wasn't enough to keep you from going back. And so I did a couple shots of it before the show and was like, I need to never do that again. Because, you know, like timing, articulation, you know, eye-hand coordination. But that became our thing after shows for a while was he would bring a bottle of Stro. And it was so good, man.
So you jumped on that comment, but that was in context of COVID vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was listing their favorite COVID vaccine.
I like Stro. If that's what's in the jab, I'll take it. A bear-sized garden. No, it would just look like this. I would do that. Bear, go for it. You got my vote. Will do.
But if you're doing a bear-sized garden, though, then you might suffer the same downfall as the pillow.
I know. A garden gnome harder to screw a hole into, drill a hole into than... What's up, Tabar? Does Screwball whiskey come in tiny bottles? Yes, it does. If so, where can I get it? The liquor store. Yes, it does.
I remember you broke out that one I gave you. In case of emergency.
Oh,
Should've
hey,
been in a little glass
Rusty
case.
Patterson's here. He's an absolute piece of shit. Somebody should introduce their boot to his ass.
They did already.
Good job,
Badger
Blue
got it in,
Wrenches.
Like I didn't even
I know.
get a chance to finish reading it. Badger was on it.
Yeah. Rusty Patterson is a repeat offender. He has such a shitty life that he has nothing better to do than come on here and make himself feel better by being the prime example of keyboard warriorhood. So,
Why would you want a little bottle of Screwball?
that's a really good
It's
question.
an emergency only.
In case I hate it. Raincat, if you hate it, box it up, send it to me with the original receipt, and I will reimburse you in full. Just saying.
I don't know if you hate it, just unsubscribe now.
No, don't tell her. I like Raincat.
No, I
Don't
like
do
Raincat.
that.
Too.
I don't like Screwball.
You don't?
No, I'm not.
Is it considered illegal if
Yeah,
you
you
gift
have
a
to like
whiskey and
peanut
cigar?
butter.
No, that's our what do you call that? Customer appreciation program. I'm thinking there needs to be a
Hey,
Screwball
John.
flourless
Jay
chocolate.
Jones, come,
Hey,
make,
John!
come make it. Come make it.
Oh my gosh,
Even I
dude.
can eat that.
What?
A Screwball flourless chocolate torte.
I'm gonna have one of these and then it's bedtime. A Temptress Imperial Milk Stout from Lakewood Brewing Company, brought to me by a brother who's an awesome fella. You guys are doing a really good job of just like being nice to me while I'm healing. Stop it.
I
like
like
that.
constitutional QRF.
I
Well,
love
it
it.
brought
I
back
love
to
it.
me too, and it was good.
Hey, we can treat you like an asshole.
I'm
He said
aware.
Whiskey
You should.
donations get you store credit.
Is that what it is?
I think we should allow that. We'll have to figure out how to do that.
It is
Email us
As
at
long as
admin.
y'all remember me.
quite dark over here. Best enjoyed in 50 to 55 degrees. Well, that's what the ambient temperature is, so that's good. 9.1% alcohol by volume. 56 IBU. So, and it is 1.091 original gangster OG.
Oh,
so,
shit.
What?
Old Days said, FYI, the Memphis I-40 bridge is shut down due to a crack in the truss.
What?
You need to Google that stuff, because that is a major corridor.
And here we
It's a
go.
pain in
It's the
ass to
end
get
of the
around.
world as we know
Yeah,
it.
that's trucks going back and forth too.
I feel
That's what I
fine.
Major corridor.
Memphis I-40 bridge shut down. Wow, I'm pretty proud. I did a pretty good job of two-finger typing that one. Let's hold on. We got to adjust the thing again. Here, I'll go up in this corner.
Yes, Jay Morris. Apple crown and pomegranate for homie.
Apple crown and pomegranate. Hold on. I didn't do the thing. Still didn't do the thing. There we go. Okay. So, heads up, drivers. The I-40 bridge is closed indefinitely after a crack is
We
discovered.
just said I'm on I-40 now.
That's terrible.
Sorry, John.
You're Duramax Road. I hope you're on the right side.
I-40 bridge closed indefinitely after crack discovered in the structure. Memphis. Dateline, Memphis, Tennessee.
You can blame Twitch.
Yeah, we're gonna blame Twitch.
Has he got back across
Yes.
there yet? Okay,
Back.
good.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, sorry, bro.
The bridge, are they talking about like the Mississippi Bridge?
Bro, that's what we're about to talk
Oh,
about.
okay.
Memphis and I.
Memphis, Tennessee, the I-40 Hernando de Soto M Bridge over the Mississippi River is closed at least through Wednesday morning, according to the Arkansas Department of Transportation,
Oh, that's big.
after crews discovered a crack in the structure during a routine inspection. The Tennessee Department of Transportation says the crack is on the bottom side of the bridge truss and the bridge will need to be shut down indefinitely. River traffic is shut down until further notice. Okay, so
Oh, they're closing both?
kind of bad. That's actually pretty bad.
Is that
That's,
where the great outdoors
far, no
pyramid
river.
is?
son of a...
Yeah.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that where that great outdoors pyramid?
So about that list of indicators.
So yeah, so everybody who has their bug out indicators, start checking boxes. That's pretty bad.
We are at level 2.
Yeah. TDOT says contract crews will investigate the crack's extent and make emergency repairs, which could, quote, which could take some time. I don't know.
Granddaddy helped build that bridge.
Your great granddaddy helped build that bridge, and so here, oh yeah, here's them turning people around at the on ramps.
Dudley just asked, is it where the pyramid is? That's what you were saying.
Is it where the pyramid?
That's
is?
what I was asking. Isn't that the same place?
I think
Yeah, it's right there.
Right there.
Yeah, Memphis is
Yeah.
the pyramid city.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's a giant pyramid that's now owned by
The great outdoors?
no Bass Pro
Bass Pro
Shops.
Shop.
It makes no sense. It's like I always think about like Egyptian, iconography and bass fishing at the same time. Like, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
see that.
TDOT shares responsibility for the bridge with the Arkansas Department of Transportation. TDOT says an RDOT contractor discovered the crack during a routine inspection and immediately shut down the bridge. It is unclear how long repairs will take. Traffic is being rerouted in both directions to I-55. Oh my goodness.
What are they gonna do with river traffic?
Construction on the new bridge is often called, began in May 1967. Yeah, it's not so new anymore, homie. What's that, 55 years old? The double-arched bridge opened to traffic 2 August 75. Total cost was $57 million. If you don't think we have inflation now,
4 years old.
you can't
Thank
pour the concrete abutment for one concrete abutment for that bridge for $57 million.
Yeah, don't be adding. That's the month I was born. It's 54 years.
Okay, I'm so sorry. We'll let you know. It's almost 55 years old, but not actually 55 years old, because that makes certain people on the porch very uncomfortable with numbers. Since 2000, the bridge has been undergoing seismic retrofitting with millions spent security. That's bad English. With millions spent security it to withstand up to a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. I would say that's probably the word securing is what they're looking for there. That's kind of bad news.
That a person writing a report can't spell right?
Yeah, that happens from time to time.
Because
Right?
it's happening right now. So
I've seen it myself.
proofreader.
That's true. Alright, so...
Why wouldn't he pay for the bridge? It's infrastructure.
I do want to know if y'all could...
More alcohol, so we can deal with the bridge thing.
I do want to know if y'all could tell me in the comments. Jay Morris, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This quicker to get y'all some drinks since the interstates are shutting down now. Fire up the chopper. Jay Morris just put $100 in the fuel tank. Phelps, you were cleared hot. Saw Metallica there. Worst show I'd ever seen them do. Yeah, well, Memphis
It
and
sucked for
Metallica.
concerts. That's
Yeah.
why they ended up selling it. Is because
The Pyramid?
yeah,
The acoustics?
sound quality, the acoustics was
Say that again.
horrendous.
What's that word?
The what?
Horrendous.
The acoustics.
The acoustics.
You notice how she threw that Q in there?
The 17th letter.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
It's not used enough, you know.
Great Granny Jenny 48. I have a large garden, but also raised bed. It's my bare independent garden. Planted tomatoes, peppers, onions, and garlic. That is awesome, Great Granny.
That's good. We had some
I'm curious to know, to y'all in the chat, all 644 of you. By the way, great job hanging out this long. What are we, 2.5 hours in? Appreciate that. That's awesome. How are you liking kind of the hybrid live stream where we do some news, we do some Q&A, we bounce back and forth to the screen sharing? Do you like it? Like a thumbs up if you like it, or like a yes, I like it, no, I don't like it. What are you thinking? Yes, I like it, no, I don't like it. I kind of like it. Good times. I like this one. Roger that. I like it, digging it. Okay, cool. Love it, liking it, love it. Okay, awesome. I like the vibe of it. I think it's good to be able to dive into some news, talk a bit of trash, dive into some news, talk a bit of trash, do some Q&A. Either way, it's awesome. Thank you, Patriot Plumber. Can't wait to watch Catan tonight. Good to go. Knife hand. Roger that. Great as always. Sarah, bless you. Makes me want to smash nuts. Man.
Not my husband. His are sore enough. They know.
I'm just effed on the 40. No ride from Epstein. I don't know what to tell you about that, Dora Max Road. Kind of like Timcast, but from Bear's perspective, less milk toast. I appreciate that. Do what you can, brother. Awesome. I am the all-knowing wizard. Know my new name, sir. Okay, SF. Well, the problem is, though, with that, there's a Torah for wizards, and, I mean, listen, if things get, like, truly screwy, don't come here, because I'm going to have to walk you to the rock pile, and that's going to be awkward, because you'll be like, but Bear, I love you. I'm like, I know. Oh, I mean, at gunpoint. But, yeah.
It's easier to walk him there, and I take care of him. So
That is true. It's walking is easier than it's compelled walking, but yeah, that's easier than.
Got a golf cart.
That's true. We got a golf cart.
Have you seen my rock pile?
History always repeats until you get blocked on a live stream.
What is history always repeating?
Oh
I'm
man,
feeling that person had a different name
Israel.
a while ago.
Hey, Bryce H. We just talked about Israel Palestine. I think I actually hold on. Did I actually see it? Did I actually see NWA Prepper's name, or
Yeah,
did I
yeah.
host? There he is.
He's here.
Always a good time on your live streams. I'm going to crash now. Love you. Hey, man, we love you too, man. Bless you. I hope everything's going right in your world. And for just as a reiteration, for those who are in the market for like prepper gear, if you got to buy some stuff, I'm just as bad as the next guy about putting money into Bezos's pocket. But please check out AdventureFrontier.com. It's run by awesome people. We love them. They got a heart of gold. They got great customer service, and they got great products. So, AdventureFrontier.com. And no, they don't pay me a dime to say that. We just do that because they're good people, and we're good people, and you know, hashtag brotherhood. Bear ABT 2024. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that ticket?
There'd be a lot of
Our slogan would be "Prepare yourself." Shalom, LB. Hashtag compost. That's a good campaign slogan. Hashtag compost. I'm down. Bear, what is your opinion of the prepper stacking silver for barter? That's a good question. I literally just posted a video about that on Patreon. But it was a repost from YouTube that I did a year or so ago. And I do reposts on Sundays on Patreon because there's like, we're getting to the point now where we have over 3,000 videos and we have a lot of new people. So we get a lot of the recurring questions. And so I like to go back to the archives and pull something that's relevant every now and then. I usually do that on Sundays. So all that to say, I think gold is a wealth preservation tool. I think large denomination silver is a wealth preservation tool. I think that small denomination silver, if you have a critical mass of it within a community or a region, enables the easier flow of goods and services in an economic collapse where fiat currency is worth nothing. And a lot of people go, yeah, well, that never happened. Well, currently in Venezuela, you can get 6 months of food for a family of 4 with 1 ounce silver round. That's pretty damn powerful purchasing power. You can buy essentially any house you want for 1 ounce of gold. So if you do the conversion on that, that means you can buy a house in Venezuela for about $1,900 US right now. Or you can buy 6 months worth of food for about $35 right now. Which is an indicator of how weak their money is currently. And that's in 2021. So currently, that's where I stand on it. I think gold is a wealth preservation tool that if you have liquid assets that you're watching dwindle in value every day due to inflation, then maybe gold is a good place to put it. But I don't think it's for barter. Who are you going to barter gold with? I mean, your other buddies that also have gold, just do shit together already without tossing gold around. Like, you're talking about tying up tens of thousands of dollars to create a very small economic ecosystem. Versus silver, which has a much lower barrier to entry, and especially junk silver, like face value, nickels, dime pieces, quarters, stuff like that. The 90% junk silver and face value coins. Stuff's great and relatively inexpensive. 1 ounce silver rounds are, they were $20-something. They're now in the mid-30s, so there's a price increase there. But they're still quite attainable. And like the 1/10 of an ounce pieces of silver and even 1/10 of an ounce pieces of gold, like those can actually be used for commerce. It's when you get into, I don't know anybody personally that's going to buy kilo bars of gold or a talent of gold, which is 77.6 pounds, by the way. It's a lot of friggin' gold. I mean, you're talking millions and millions of dollars in gold. For what? You're going to buy some bread with it? You get out your Dremel tool and make some gold dust and pinch it into a little baggie and take that to the store and buy bread with it. I don't think that's how that's going to work. And I really don't think that, air quote, the system, I don't think you're going to walk into your local Walmart with a silver round and buy something. I think it's going to be more for localized trade and commerce with small denominations of silver. And like I said, large denomination silver and large denomination gold is more of a wealth preservation tool in unstable economic times than it is something for barter trade for commerce, because it has a really low mobility. There's so much inherent value in a piece of gold that you don't want to part with it. It's low mobility. But 1/10 of an ounce of silver, who cares? Yeah. Nice donkey, bro. I'll give you 2 silver rounds. Okay, sounds good. Now we got a donkey. Like, not a big deal. So, nickel isn't silver, it's nickel. Agreed, but not all nickels are made of nickel. They're made of, alright, whatever. Google's your friend on that. I bought 4 gold-plated $100 trillion notes this week. They're beautiful. They were issued in Zimbabwe. They're worth about 43 cents US. Hyperinflation is fun. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Can't eat gold either.
In the old days, root cellars were used. One idea. Yeah, if you live in a place where you can dig a root cellar, we have a relatively thin layer of topsoil before you hit bedrock in a lot of areas around here. And we have a really high water table. So that's why you don't find a lot of basements in this area of the country, because why? If you did break through the rock to make it deep enough to put a basement in, it would just flood because the water table is, like, in some places on my property, 14 inches below the ground. So, yeah.
Just on the ground.
Yeah. That's right. At some places, it's 0 inches below the ground. So, exactly, Concrete. That's correct. I give away flour gold every time a truck leaves the gravel pit. Well, bro, it's time for you to get a wash plant. Looking into no-dig gardening this season. I dig it, man. Or I don't. Oh my gosh, 9:44, 15 more minutes, and we're putting a bow on this thing. It's getting chilly. The damn Yankee, what's going on, man? What's going on? Been at our bug out location for 3 months. Bless you, bro. My wife just keeps getting poultry tea. Woken Woodsman, what's that like? You need to sit her down. You need to say, honey, it's me or the fowl. Pick one. And then she's going to pick the fowl, and you're going to realize you love her, and then you're just going to have a wife and 900 chickens. Because that's kind of what happened to me. So, you know, Trump one, that's a good point. You could do that. Could you put the cellar above ground and just cover it with dirt? Enough dirt, same effect. Yeah, you need a critical mass of dirt around it in order to maintain the continuity of the ground temperature around the box that you've made. Cody Lundeen, the guy from what was the name of that show? He was with Dave Canterbury from Pathfinder School, survival show. Cody Lundeen, the hippie guy, wrote the book 98.6, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive. Anyway, Cody Lundeen, and he's like jacked, and all he does is like body weight calisthenics. But anyway, dual survival. There you go. Cody Lundeen has a house in Arizona that uses passive earth-based cooling. That does that. He just has a house built into the side of a hill with earth mounted up over the top of it, and it also has a living roof where he grows food on top of it, and as the water evaporates from the soil above the house, it creates evaporative cooling, which helps keep the house cool as well, which is cool because he lives in Arizona where it gets up to like 120, and it stays like between 60 and 70 degrees year round in his house, which is freaking awesome. So with no electricity, he's not using electricity to do it, so it can be done. My wife has a great chocolate cake recipe that is mainly eggs and dark chocolate. Oh, do tell. Hobbit whole earth ships for SHTF. Maybe. You know, David Devine at Adapt 2030 has been talking a lot about ancient civilizations that lived through grand solar minimums underground. And guys, I'm not saying I'm ready to dig a hole. I'm just saying it's kind of in the back of my mind. It's like, do we need to become Hobbit people? Is this... We kind of like, we need more food storage anyway. So what if we just dig a hole, we say it's just for food, but we also put like, you know, Wi-Fi, a couple nice TVs in there, you know, some cots and stuff. Yeah, it's a new office. It's a business expense. We're constructing an office below ground to survive the grand solar minimum. The CPA would love this. Yeah, Monica would lose her shit. What are all these receipts for? The new office, Monica. I can't find it. Nobody else can either. Don't worry about it.
Just keep in mind, Soldier and Gear and myself don't do well with low ceilings.
Yeah, it's going to have to be at least 7 feet. I don't want Brother Cody to have to be all hunched over. Well, and Dale, too, is no joke either. Yeah, Dale's that refrigerator. So, yeah. Anywho. Taborosaurus Rex. Shaloha. What's up, brother? You know, Rex, your most recent video was like in my next up on YouTube. See, it's right here. Strange Triangular Aircraft, May 11, 2021. Rex Reviews. Hey, 4.7 thousand views in 1 hour. You're doing good, man. You know, you might be able to make something out of this YouTube thing. You just keep up the good work, buddy. Sooner or later, it's going to catch on for you. It's, see? Look, it's right there. Look, right there. See it? That's you. It's almost as if, and of course the next thing is fruit salad from You Suck at Cooking. That's great. It's almost as if we all like support each other in this preparedness community thing.
Read Ben Anderson's comment.
Ben Anderson's comment. Hey Bear, just wanted to say thanks. Your vids helped me out of a lot. I can't remember how long you've been on YouTube, but I started watching you when I was 16, I think, almost 20 now, and still prepping. Ben Anderson, bless you, man. Keep going. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Good job, kiddo. Good job.
Rex needs to be at Sakot.
Rex needs to be at Sakot. I agree. I mean, it's not like we should publicly pressure him with 632 other people here. I'm just saying, you know, this would be one of those people that we would not have to walk repentantly to the rock pile that we could actually let inside the gate, which would be a great
You
deal.
should know that
So.
there is a formal invitation.
Dudley concurs. Zentechio, bless you, man. 556, I appreciate that. That is precisely enough money to buy 2 556 rounds right now. Thank you. There are good people, and then there are good people. Agreed. Everybody's repentant on their way to the rock pile. Unless they're not, and then you just like confront Moses at the mouth to the tabernacle because you got a chip on your shoulder, and then Yah rains fire on you and 200 of your buddies, and then opens the ground up and swallows up all your tents and literally erases your progeny from the earth. Kind of makes a point, you know. It's like, you didn't just get stoned, you got meteorited, and then we destroyed every trace of your DNA from the planet. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
The last thing you want to hear, hey, come check out my rock pile.
Have you seen the rock pile?
Let me show you my rock pile.
This is our 2021 rock pile. So, Arkan Reznatovic. Keep up the good work, Bear. You got it. I will do my best, sir. Or madam. Oh, man. Hi, Bear Driving. Your co-pilot. Roger that, John. Be careful. I'm a bad driver.
Don't be on 40.
Don't be on 40. The bridge in Memphis is shut down. Also, make sure that you're not anywhere near the 1,000 gas stations that are out of fuel.
Or the I-40 bridge.
Yeah, or the I-40 bridge, which we just said, sweetie.
Oh,
It's okay.
I'm not listening to you.
We know,
Who
Rick.
is?
I've zoned you out.
That's not new.
I do like Savvy's idea. Did you see it? We need to have Oki and J. John start sending food porn.
Oh, man.
Honey pot.
Oh, man.
So I don't know if you saw, Gavin had a really good question. $25 a week budget for food storage. What do you get?
$25 a week budget for food storage. What do you get? Okay, that's a great question. I'm going to assume that you currently have nothing. So let's just start with the fact that you have nothing. I'm also going to assume that you have 4 to 5 people in your house. Your name's Gavin, so you're a dude. You probably got a wife and some kids. But maybe you don't. But we'll just pretend that you do. Then you got $25 a week or $100 a month to put into food storage. The first thing I would do is open your pantry in your house and look at what is in there that we're currently eating and what can I buy more of right now so that I have a month's worth of this in my pantry right now, and do that $25 increments at a time. If it's spaghetti and meat sauce or macaroni and cheese or beans and rice or whatever you're currently eating, use that $25 a month to get to a month's worth of pantry stuff, just that you're currently eating right now. Then I would use that $25 a week to get kind of like a bit more of the pantry essentials. I'd get some flour. I'd get some rice, 20-pound sack of rice, 20-pound sack of beans. I'd get some yeast. I'd get some salt. I'd get some sugar. Basic, how do we make bread? Basic, how do we add some carbohydrates to these canned vegetables that we have? That kind of basic stuff. And then I'd build from the 1 month to the 3 months. And a pantry, in my opinion, should have 3 months worth of depth. Like, we don't have to go to the store. We might want to go to the store because we really want some cream for our coffee or whatever, but we don't have to go to the store. And I would get 3 months deep on the stuff that you use every day that you're eating right now. I would get that. And I would strongly recommend, in addition to the stuff that you're eating right now, putting together like a 7 meals plan, which is something that we recommend. It was developed by a lady in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which they don't like being called Mormons or LDS anymore, and you gotta say the whole name or they get really upset about
It's
it.
not called 7 Meals on YouTube, but if you look up Wendy DeWitt.
Wendy DeWitt. But, so not trying to steal any fire from Wendy DeWitt, but it developed into our 7 meals plan. And so that allows you to take advantage $25 at a time of sales. Like, for example, spaghetti and meat sauce. If, there's 4 of you and you use a small can of spaghetti or a small can of sauce and a pound of spaghetti every time you make spaghetti and meat sauce, that means, if you're going to have 3 months worth of that, you need 12 pounds of spaghetti and you need 12 cans of sauce. Okay. Well, when spaghetti's $1 a box and the sauce is $1 a can, you got $25 to deploy. That's $24 plus tax. You're roughly $25, right? And so the plan allows you to identify what the target looks like, and then, especially since Rex is here, we can use this analogy. Once you've identified the target, you've lased the target, you know what your environmentals are, you can work out a firing solution, i.e. you can reverse engineer how do you hit the target. But you can't hit a target you can't see. And so much of that is about identifying benchmarks. What do you need? What should you have? So forth and so on. So get your pantry to a month. Then get your pantry to 3 months. Then get the ancillary dry goods stuff. Start stacking beans. Start stacking rice. Flour will only last a year, maybe 2 in a bucket. That's why we stack wheat, because you grind wheat to make flour. But it'll last a year or two. Flour will last a year or two. Exodus 15:3, praise Yah. Yahuwah is a warrior. Yahuwah is his name. Amen.
If you don't have a grinder, don't get wheat till you get the grinder.
Yeah, it's a great point. If you don't have a grinder, don't get wheat till... And people who are like, well, I'll just use my blender. No, you won't. I'll use a mortar and pestle.
Get a hand grinder.
Your forearms will be this big if you use a mortar and pestle to grind your wheat.
Use my mini hammer.
Yeah, so...
Couple rocks.
So your dry goods, your staples, I would start stacking those when you're at 3 months worth of pantry food. And then I would legitimately look at a year's worth of your 7 meals plan, bite size at a time, and a year's worth of dried grain, bite size at a time. It takes 750 pounds per grain, or of grain per person per year, in order to come up with the caloric intake of a military-aged male between the ages of 16 and 35 years old, which is enough calories to maintain body weight in strenuous activity. And so for somebody who's a young girl, they don't need 3,200 calories a day. But a grown man who's out there busting this hump every day, post SHTF, getting after it, they're going to need at least that. They may need more than that to maintain the physicality that they have. And so that works out to 750 pounds divided by 365 days, 365.24 days in a year, works out to 3,277.18 calories per day. And that exceeds, just barely, the 3,200 calories per day recommended by literally a dozen different world organizations on caloric intake for people, humans. And so you want 750 pounds of grain, corn, rice, wheat, and beans. Split it up equally. If you can't get rice, then split it up into thirds between, corn and beans and wheat. If you can't get corn, wheat and rice and beans, or whatever, okay? And you do that bite size. You get about 30 pounds of grain per bucket. And you need about 175-ish, 180-ish pounds of grain per person per year. So you're really talking 6 buckets per person per year of corn, rice, wheat, beans. And I realized that was a lot of numbers in a short period of time, but we do have a prepper classroom video on this. And so if you're new here or new to preparedness, I'd recommend going to the prepper classroom video. There's a whole playlist here on YouTube. It's for free. Just check it out. And we go through that stuff in depth. Food prep, food meal planning, long-term food storage, what your pantry should look like, all of that. And it's all whiteboarded out. You can pause it and take notes. There's even a damn prepper notebook on the store, if rather than taking your own notes, which the playlist is completely free. You're welcome to take as many of your own notes as you want. It's free here on YouTube. If you don't want to mess with the notes, you can just get the prepper notebook. It's in the store at bearindependent.com, which
or the USB if you don't want to go.
Or the USB. Is Prepper Classroom on USB?
Yeah.
What? That's cool.
Episodes 1 through 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I knew that.
Like.
No, I think I knew that.
And one thing also,
Yeah.
learn how to make the food, because
Yep.
you're not going to be looking it up on the internet for the recipes.
You know this.
That's true. Well,
Yeah, that goes with the actually using your stuff. If you're gonna store wheat, actually start making wheat bread because it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, and it's different than flour out of the bag too.
Totally different.
So yeah, so you're probably gonna want a sieve as well. There's a lot that comes with it.
do this stuff now.
So, that's what I would do if I had $25 a week to dedicate to, was it prepping or food storage? Food storage, that's what I would do. And really start with buying the things that you are currently eating, because if nobody in your family eats garbanzo beans, you don't need a pallet of garbanzo beans, man. Your wife is going to be pissed at you. That's actually, that was like my foot in the door with my wife. And I'll say this, and then I'll get off of here because we've been on for 3 hours. She was like, I don't want to just eat rice and beans when the world ends. I said, great. You're in charge of that. Figure that shit out. And she did. And here we are. So, and with that, bless y'all.
Yes,
Thanks for hanging out for 3 hours with us. May is Stop the Bleed month. Promo code Stop the Bleed, 20% off for the entire month, store-wide at bearindependent.com, refugemedical.com, and 10% off at refugetraining.com. Come see us in Tallahassee, Florida, Paola, Kansas, and Moore, Oklahoma. Bear Nation, I appreciate y'all more than words can express, and I hope and pray you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the brief. Shalom.